Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aussie Formula Racing here for Season 6, Round 16 from Austin, Texas in the United States of America. Here for Tier 1 first off, and we'll be Tier 2 a little bit later on this evening. Just loading into the qualifying session now. A little bit of rain, so it'll be a bit of a spicy qualifying session. Not yet sure what's going to happen in the race, but we'll have Matsia Dabru joining me in the commentary box for Tier 1, and he'll provide us with an update in a moment. So we've got a 20-turn track here, 5.5 kilometers, 2 DRS zones, and a lot of action had in the last couple of seasons. A couple of highlights, and we'll run through them now. So last season we had turn 9, Peter and Flyboy coming together. Flyboy had a little bit of a mechanical issue. His AI took over mid-corner, and Peter, unfortunately, losing his wing, kind of ruined his race strategy as well. He tried to keep with it, but ended up having a little bit of an issue later on and retiring from the race. Back in Season 4, we had a battle between Seb and Bandcamp between turns 11 and 12. Now, turn 11 is going to be one of our key overtaking points, as is turn 12 at the end of the very long back straight. You can see there the Renault and the Red Bull going side by side all the way down the straight, both with DRS and the tow from the car in front, so you can just see how powerful that slipstream is going to be. Seb eventually getting the move done, going into turn 12. Also in Season 4, myself and Apollo Pepsi and fellow commentator, who won't be joining me this weekend unfortunately, battling through turns 12 and 16, the Ferrari and the Racing Point going side by side, wheel banging a little bit there, but plenty of racing room left. Racing Point there just slightly quicker, managing to get through, tries it around the outside, a little bit of a squeeze, the elbows are out, but he had the inside line to that big double apex left-hander. And it's another interesting spot as well to pass here at this track, so if you get your line right, you can hold the inside, but if you leave that door open, you just shoot it down, and the person on the outside has nowhere else to go. Alright, we're jumping across into the qualifying session. Matsia Dabri has joined me in the commentary box. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm doing great. So I've got an update on the weather. So as you can see, intermediate conditions for whole of qualifying, and then dry race.
Excellent, thank you very much for that. So we are going to jump on board with Apollo Pepsi. I'm sure will be our first driver to do a lap, as always. Yeah, you can see they've all got green striped intermediate tyre on. A little bit of rain still falling. Track doesn't look too bad, but some of the corners here can be quite tricky. We'll see in Tier 2 a little bit later in the intro video just how difficult it can be on traction. Some of these corners, so easy to lose it on those curves, and the wet's going to be a little bit treacherous as well. Seeing a few yellow flags shoot up in the final sectors, drivers trying to give each other space.
Yeah, they're all backing up at the end of Sector 3 there.
So Pepsi comes into the hairpin, and lots of short shifting up, trying to control that wheel spin on the exit. Seems to do pretty well. Apologies guys in the chat, just saw that there might be an issue with the audio from the intro video. I'll keep an eye on that for Tier 2. Thanks for letting me know. Apparently
yeah, so this is like a clean lap. He's struggling with a couple of things, a bit of a couple of lockups, a bit of wheel spin, but he's kept it within the lines, so it's still valid. Hopefully he'll be an okay banker. We'll see how it goes.
Hearing as well, the track might be drying in 10 minutes, so we might see run on the slicks towards the end. We've got Matsia. Oh, so that's Matt Soyd has gone around with one of the Ferraris. Might be able to see. It's on the left-hand side of turn 2, just before turn 3. You might see that now. Yeah, he's lost it big time just before the Pirelli bridge.
I reckon he's put his right-hand tires on the curb and just shot him straight off to the left.
So Apollo Pepsi comes across the line, sets the first time of the session with a 1 minute 45.1, so decent bank lap, but we've got a Racing Point about to start as well. I think that might be Stars. Have to go on a flying lap. I think everyone else is currently on a flyer, if they haven't invalidated. Geordie setting a 144.310. Using absolutely every little centimetre of track he can get away with. This Panda goes provisional pole with 143.9. The Rainmaster himself, as he likes to be referred to. Lads, at this stage the race is going to be dry. Getting a lot of times start to flood through. Can be a bit of a tricky track to set a legitimate time. A lot of corners you can easily extend on, and particularly when it's in the wet. I think Stars is actually on his second flying lap at the moment. I think he invalidated his first. Seems to be doing pretty well this time around, but a Haas that's very slow in sector 1. Not sure what's happening there. Stars coming up into turns 19 and 20. Turn 19, very difficult corner. Very easy to run out wide onto that AstroTurf and invalidate. And he nearly loses the rear at turn 20. But does come across the line for P8 with 144.945. Going to jump forward with the Renault combined, who's just behind him. As Geordie goes provisional pole with 143.849. Combines, it's 145.2. Beaver, 143.793. Goes up in provisional pole. Wahid, the only driver other than Matsoy, did not set a time yet. He's just coming through sector 3 at the moment.
Good time from London, 44.4.
Yeah, you're seeing a bit of spread in the times. You've got a second covers the top 7, and then after that it spreads out a fair bit. Could just be some of the drivers running a lot more fuel just to get a bit of a rhythm going in the wet, but I expect it to be about 2 seconds worth of fuel extra in Flyboy's car. Thank you very much for the follow, Kips.
I mean, I know this track it's very slippy in the dry, so yeah, in the wet it's an absolute nightmare. A lot of the traction zones are very, very difficult, so I'm sure there's a lot of drivers just trying their best to kind of get their grips, get their bearings on how exactly hard they can push. So I think close to the end of the session we'll see the times tighten up a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Wahid there just setting 1.5.7, so he's almost 2 seconds away from provisional pole.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. We've got a racing point. Mikau is in sector 2. He's currently got the ERS switched down, so I'm not sure if he's about to build up for a flying lap or if he's about to come in. So I think from a championship perspective, Fever, I believe, needs to win pretty much every race for the rest of the season in order to be able to close down that gap.
Alright, so Mikhail's starting his lap now, so I'll take us around if you'd like.
Go for it, absolutely.
Alright, so down the start-finish straight, looking up that massive hill into turn 1. You want to take as much of the curb on the right-hand side as you can, brake as hard as you can without locking up, which Mikhail does perfectly. Use a little bit of lock-up to turn the car in, and slide the background, which he's done perfectly. So now you want to hug tight to the right without losing the rear end, as he has a little correction there. Through the S's now, we get very careful of these curbs. You've got to right them perfectly, not to spin. Doing that pretty well. He runs a little wide here, but it's alright. You can tuck back on yourself here. Touch the curve on the inside there. You want to get it flicked back in, and nice and careful on the steering. You don't want to steer too much. You get tons of understeer. Mikhail's hooking this up pretty well. A little bit of oversteer in the exit, but definitely not bad at all. Coming into now this corner. Really want to. It depends on the curb whether it's wet or dry. If you want to use it, seems like Mikhail's chosen not to use the entry curb, but touch the curb on the inside, and it's looking pretty solid so far. I'd say we'll see the sector split in a minute, but yeah, it's looking quite solid so far. We'll see if he uses the curb. No, opts not to use the curb again. This is a very good idea. I think they get very, very slippy in the wet. Really hooks that corner up nicely. Now coming to the right-hand. Now he's 4 tenths up on his other time. It's a purple sector 2. So this is looking like a very solid lap for Mikhail. Now this corner is a very tricky one. Very hard braking zone. It's a curved braking zone. You got to get into the apex. And he does miss the apex slightly, but he can make it back up on the traction zone, the exit. So we'll see if he's done that. I think he's looking pretty solid so far. Now, this is the end of the lap. You just need to absolutely send it into the last 2 corners and just not run wide. So here, you got to touch the apex, get on the throttle nice and early, which he does. And last corner, you really just got to carry as much speed through as you can. He does go a little bit wide. If he gets in the power early enough, that should be good. So there's going to be a solid time. There you go, 143.7.
3,000 of a second off Fever's time. And speaking of Fever, he's actually in the pits with the soft tyre on the car at the moment. So is he expecting that his next run is going to be on the slicks? They have to keep an eye on that.
Very ambitious, surely, isn't it? Surely it won't dry out that quickly. I guess we'll see, though. It does look like the kind of the dry line has disappeared, almost like the track has kind of become more uniform. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the rain is definitely lighter than it was at the start of the session. There's a fair bit of spray still coming off the tyres, but we did get the call out in the chat that it's just a couple of minutes away from dry conditions. I'm just going to jump further back. You guys still in the pits, I think they're all still waiting just to see what's going to happen with the weather before deciding to come out for their next run.
See, there might be a situation, I think we've had, I don't remember what race it was, but I remember there was one race, I think it was last season, where it was like at the end, it was similar qualifying to this, and at the end, half the grid was on softs, half the one inters, and it ended up being like almost neck and neck. So, it's really gonna, I reckon it's really gonna be close. It does look like it is starting, like I think the rain's stopped now on my screen.
Yeah, I'm just looking with Sid and there's no rain on the camera, so I think we are going to see it in a moment.
Yeah, so, and there's what, 6 minutes left? Look like Pondon's putting on softs as well, so yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. I think
Casey as well has got the softs.
Yep, Panda as well.
I think everyone's just comparing the deltas at the moment. It does give you a little bit of intel in the pits.
Yeah,
the delta will start to drop and they'll wait for that crossover, but I'd say at the moment it's right on a knife edge. It's going to be about the same pace now, no matter what you come out on, but you don't want to burn out your softs.
Yeah, agreed.
Get your timing wrong and end up cooking your softs before you can set in a quick time at the end.
100%.
Whoever is last to leave the pits and cross that line to set their final lap will get the best track conditions. So it's going to be
exactly right. It's going to be a waiting game now. Kind of like we saw in Baku or like Monza 2019. It's going to be very much less for the slipstream, more just for the track conditions. It's really every second counts.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing Sid still going around the track. Definitely no rain, but the track looks so much drier than it did at the start of the lap. So we've got a Mercedes leaving the pits now. I think that might be Panda is coming out on the slick tyre.
Oh, okay, let's see how he goes. Here. This will be a good indicator to see what the track's going to be like. I think this is a bit early, to be honest. I'm a bit confused why he's come out this early. I honestly think...
I reckon he's going to do a lap now on the softs and he'll come back. He's got 5.5 minutes to go, so he'll be able to set a time now and come back and put on another set towards the end. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's high risk. It's very high risk just because the track's still a little bit damp. You make one mistake, you go on the wall and that's it. Your session's over, so...
Well, he does look like... It is his outlap, and he does look like he has some degree of grip. So honestly, I think it is going to definitely come into soft at the end, as he is sliding around, but that's just Panda's style. So
we got the Ferrari of Trin is out on track with slick tyres as well. But yeah, the only other cars on track at the moment are still in the inters, but I expect they all will come in.
Yep, definitely looking like there you go. DRS has been enabled, so officially. So that means very much the crossover is happening. So this is definitely going to be a dry tyre shootout. We almost have like a 5-minute quali here. It's like the whole rest of the session is pretty much reset because like none of these times are going to be representative at all. So we've got a very interesting quali coming up here because it's pretty much just a one-lap shootout.
And we can expect as well the times will just get quicker as well. So even though we might have the likes of Panda setting a time now, it's not going to be the quickest time we'll see. The track is going to be getting drier and quicker as every
exactly right. Pretty much going to have a one-shot quali situation. It's going to be very, very testing for all the drivers. I think no one's safe. Like even the top drivers, 143. That's absolutely nothing in the dry. Like the drivers will be doing like easily.
Panda's
skidding.
Interesting. Maybe
very interesting. Maybe he didn't think he was going to have time to go around and do another lap. Maybe he just wants to make sure he's out at the right time.
As well.
I think probably they were doing a cider lap to see the conditions, and now they're coming back in so they can have time to go out at the end, because if they had done another lap, it would have been touch and go, getting back to the pits, putting on a new set of softs, and getting all the way back around again to start another one.
So let's jump on board, I think, with Smitty. May go on to do a flyer. We're all going to be leaving very late to set a time. It's essentially going to be one-shot quali right at the death.
Exactly right.
No margin for error at all.
There's a couple of them leaving now.
Which means that if Smitty decides to do a lap, he's going to have a lot of traffic to negotiate as well. So hopefully everyone's paying attention, looking in the mirrors.
We've got both the Haas's, Williams, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri.
Here we go. He's going for a lap. Do you want to talk us through this one on the slicks?
Sure thing. Alright, so he extends the straight as much as he can to get the biggest run to the line, maximize the top speed, and he brings us down the track. So we'll see Smitty's style. So you see he's not using the curb on the right. That's, I would say, a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. So a little bit wide from the apex, but not horrible. Oh, and there you go. He gets tons of oversteer in the exit. That's just what happens when you don't hook it up, but still fine. Still fine. So just need to be very careful on these curbs because they are very deadly if you hit them the wrong way, as I've said. This is looking fairly clean, except for that exit of turn 1. He's hooking everything up pretty nicely. He's actually got the purple sector 1, as to be expected. And just touching the curb nicely, not too much throttle on the exit, which is good. And shortening the line. And so yeah, as you can see, he's not using the curbs as much as you can. So he's probably losing not too much time, but it's just a little bit thing that those top guys tend to do. But yep, now along the long straight, really maximizing that rear wing flying open, maximize the top speed. Now on the exit of this corner, it's like 75-meter hard braking zone downhill. Get the car turned in nicely, very nice. The track's really gripping up for him now. You can tell, like he's 4.5 seconds up, as to be expected. And yep, just now coming to this very difficult break. Oh, he's gone a bit wide. No, and he does go back on in himself. So that's very solid. And now on this last sector, just see how much the tires grip. As Kato joins the session, unfortunately, he'll be starting from the back row, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting drive from him. So yeah, there you go. Last corner now. He's got to baby at home, just try and get him the power as early as you can without invalidating, and he does. So let's see that 137 flat. I think it's a very solid lap. I think it's going to be beaten though, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of traffic on track now, so yeah.
Absolutely. Now, let's see. Who's the next one across the line? I think everyone else is on an outlap, so every single car apart from Matsoid is on track at the moment.
Wow.
So it's very, very busy. On board with Artanis now on the back straight. So you're going to get a little bit of a tow here. He's got Racing Points. He's got his DRS open in front of him.
He needs to get out of the way. Come on, Stars. Oh, this is very, I know from first hand, just having all these cars is very, very distracting. Even if they're not interfering with your aerodynamics, just like mentally focusing on the track is very, very difficult, but he's doing a pretty good job. D5 is 5.1 up, always a little bit of a lockup, but it's still right, still getting it turned in. Smitty retires.
I think he's just doing that because he's not going
to
make it back to the pits for another run.
Yeah. So saving his tyres, I'd say. Flyboy goes fastest, and Geordie goes fast with a 34.7.
And Artanis 35.3, still half a second off. That was a great time by Geordie.
Pondon 35.9.
And Mikau's just started his lap as well, going through turn 2 at the moment. And there we go, the session has ended, so everyone who's currently on the lap can complete it, but that's it, no more new laps can be commenced. Oh, big lock up from Mikau at the hairpin.
Oh, there's a lot of cars on the back straight now. It's going to be very hairy. Panda is right up the back of Artanis, I believe. Oh, there's traffic galore. Panda is pushing Pondon around the circuit. Now, my bet is on Pacey here. He's the last car in the train. He's got nice open track, best conditions out of everyone, and his lap's looking pretty solid so far. I reckon that's why I'm placing my money.
There we go, Mikau about to cross the line. Goes provisional pole with a 133.192.
Oh, 1/10, half a tenth up on Seb. Okay, let's see Pacey's time. I reckon this is going to be very solid from Pacey. I haven't been watching his splits, but I just have a feeling this is going to be a good time.
He comes around the final corner now.
Oh, 133.5.
About P6, I think he was.
Yeah,
P5.
So that's what, pole for Mikau, P2 for Seb.
We go.
Oh,
so Fever on pole, 132.6. We've got Mikau second with 133.1. Seb, P3 with a 133.2. Then got Stars, Pacey, Geordie, Artanis, Panda, Sid, and Big Al rounding out the top 10. Now everyone below the top 10 can choose whatever tyre they want for the start of the race. We've got Apollo, Pepsi, Pond and Trin, Flyboy, T-Max, Smitty combined, Wahid, but Kaito was unable to set a time, and Matsoid as well did not set any time at all. Combined and Wahid did not improve on their soft run, so I wonder if they invalidated on their laps.
Yeah, very possible.
They're about 8 seconds off the pace, so they'll have to ask the stewards for permission to race. Being outside,
yeah.
outside the, what is it, the 3%?
107%, I think. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a very good lap from Faber at the end. I think it was what, like 5/10 or something above ahead of Mikau. So yeah, it's a very solid effort. It's the championship is not looking optimal from Faber's camp, but never know. Anything can happen. Like who knows? Maybe Mikau will take someone out, get a race ban, and then Faber's right back in it. Who knows? Who knows? So. And taking pole is definitely the right way to go. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. At least we'll get a I reckon a pretty solid battle between Mikau and Faber for this race. So
absolutely, and we
so
want to
7 P3, Pacey P4. It's the the big four on the front two rows of the grid. It's gonna be good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see that championship fight go right to the end of the season if we can, but Mikau's got a very good lead at the moment, so he'll just be looking to take it one race at a time.
Mikau's consistency has been absolutely amazing this season, and Fever's been trying as hard as he can, but just when you're against, I know from experience, when you're against someone who just puts in those results every race, one after another, it's so hard. Like no matter how many wins you get, it's all about consistency. So yeah, Mikau's just done that. It's absolutely textbook, and that is a testament to his lead.
All right, drivers have got their strategy sorted for the race, and here we go. Predicted pit stop strategy, he reckons, 2 stops, soft, medium, but we'll see. They always seem to get USA wrong in this game. All right, so let's see the tyres. Top 10 obviously all starting on the softs. Now outside the top 10, pretty much everyone on the medium except for T-Mac, Wahid and Kaito opting for the soft tyre as well. So nice bit of variety there. So expect those guys to make it through the back of the field pretty quickly.
Now this formation lap is quite important for them. That's because it's actually not that easy to go from a wet quali to a dry race. Although it was drying at the end of quali, the grip levels are still very different. So switching over in your brain, like from the wet quali to a dry race, is very difficult to do. There's a lot more grip than you expect. It's very like easy. Like you'd think having more grip than you'd expect would make it like easier to drive. And it does to an extent, except when you get caught off guard and you turn in too early or whatever, or brake too hard, and you just end up with a massive pile up. So yeah, I think all the drivers need to be very careful not to get caught off guard by that.
Absolutely. Right, we've got a prediction started in the Twitch chat. And I'm just waiting for Jacob to update that. Won't be too long, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be between Mikau and Fever. Who finishes first? I think it's truncated on my view, so I'm not sure. Coming into the final sector now, so taking up on the grid in a few seconds' time. I haven't seen Ali shout out his brother in the chat yet. I'm very disappointed. It's usually one of the first things that we see pop up. Apparently they're just split up.
Alright, my bet's on Mikau. That's where I placed my money. And that chat seems to agree with me. It's 72%, I think, to Mikau. So we'll see how it goes, though. May the best driver win.
Absolutely, we'll find out very shortly as all the drivers are now on the grid. And we just wait for the lights to come on and start the countdown. Here we go. Lights coming on, the engine's revving. And we're away.
Oh, great start from Stars.
Oh, look at him go on the inside. Stars has nearly gone into the lead. Oh, he's backed out a little bit though, but they're side by side, still going through turn 1, side by side, but it looks like Fever's got the position. And Mikau now trying to get through on his teammate. Stars, what an absolutely amazing start.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty clean so far. Oh, there's some 3 wide in the S's, but it's looking all clean. Everyone seems to be keeping it pointed the right way. Some side-by-side action. The McLarens and Mercedes next to each other.
Oh, there's contact as well. The McLaren got a big hit there and he's lost a couple of positions. Doesn't look like he's got any damage from that, but it looked like the racing point.
Oh, spinning at the back.
He's gone around. He has. And we had the Renault and the Williams both go off track as well. Smitty and Kaito side by side through the hairpin. And Fever's already pulled out a second on Stars. He's absolutely bolted out of the blocks.
It's a nightmare for Mikhail. He did not want to get jumped by his teammate there. That's really gonna hold him up.
Ferrari Smitty trying to get past the Alfa Romeo now towards the back. He's got the inside line now. And Renault goes for the big dive and combined has gone around.
Oh no.
He's still got his front wing intact, but it was an ambitious attempted move on the Ferrari and he just got caught out there a little bit. Going to jump up to T-Mac and Pondon. T-Mac managed to get past going into turn 16.
1.2 seconds after the first lap. That's a very solid lead.
Absolutely. Stars has started to drop back a little bit towards his teammate, but
George... Oh, Mikhail! Wait,
it's just the timing's just every race, so we're currently on lap 3 already. Yeah, hopefully that's fixed in F1 2021.
Oh, big dive from the Ferrari of who's that? Trin, getting the place up on Pondon. Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, the positions have normalized again, so. There they go again.
Not for me. I've got Pondon in the lead. Oh, no, Pondon P17. I don't know what's going on.
For the most part, it's been pretty clean, but obviously, Apollo Pepsi combined both getting caught up in some minor incidents, but I don't think anyone's got any damage. No one's coming to the pits at the end of that first lap, so...
So our biggest, it looks like the biggest gains have been T-Mac up 4 positions and Kaito up 6 positions off the start.
So I'll just bring that up for everyone there to have a quick look at. Yeah, everyone's kind of sorted themselves out in a single fight at the moment, but we do have a couple of cars just having a look at the moves. Smitty and Flyboy battling it out for 15th place. And a little bit of jostling between Wahid and Matsuo, who go side by side. So coming to the double left-hander.
Oh, great driver from this to keep it clean, and it looks like Wahid does just get ahead.
Thank you very much for the follow, Wingnuts. Yeah, Fever's been able to maintain that gap. He's out to 1.8 seconds now. Stars under pressure on his teammate. And there we go. Mikhail has now moved back up.
Stars got wheel spin or something. That was must have been a big mistake from Stars. He lost about 5 tenths to Fever and lost the position to Mikhail.
So there we go. Mikhail now 2 seconds behind Fever.
Oh, Fever's loving this battling between the racing points. Oh, and Stars with a 3-second penalty already. That is not what you want 3 laps into the race.
2 Red Bulls going side by side into the entry of the S's in Sector 1. Managed to sort it out alright, but I'm sure Christian would have had his hands in whatever is left of his hair.
Oh, Kaito and Stars both with 3-second penalties already. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of those this race. It's very, very easy to run wide.
T-Mac there.
Ghosting
in the middle of Sid. Yeah, what was going on there? Thought for a moment there was going to end in disaster, but luckily he did ghost. Side by side going down the straight. They do have DRS enabled now. And a little bit further in front as well. I think that was Tanis and Pacey. Side by side there. Turn 12. Pacey getting escorted a little bit wide there by the Haas, who sends it down the inside and locks the brakes to avoid contact. And that was, again, an ambitious move. Likely to get away with it.
Kaito's now picked up the position on Pondon as well. He's up into P13 off the back of the grid, so that's a pretty solid start, although he does have that penalty already, so needs to keep it clean if he wants to score some good points.
Red Bulls are still looking pretty racy against each other. Miguel currently has the lead position, but he moves out of the way and goes into the pits. He's missing his right end plate, so that explains.
Oh no!
Even after he got passed through the S's.
It's Baku weekend. The Red Bulls must not be having the greatest day. Hopefully that's not a precursor to the race tonight. So Mikhail is slowly clawing back that lead on Fever. He's gained about 3 tenths over the past lap, I think. So he really needs to. He cannot let that gap get out a lot. Like he can't let that gap go past 2.5 seconds, to be honest, because He really does need to stay. Ideally, he needs to get the DRS back, obviously. But yeah, he just can't let FIBA run away, because if FIBA just gets a little sniff of free air and it just bolts, then yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for Mikhail to get back, especially with the pack all close. He's got 6 or 5 cars all within a couple seconds of him, so yeah, he needs to make sure. Actually, it's pretty, except for Artanis, they're all in DRS down to 11th.
Got Ponda making a move on Kaito now on the back straight. Kaito not having any DRS, and he loses position to Smitty as well. So Ponda and Smitty going side by side into turn 12. Just give each other enough room. Kaito makes it around the outside. Now he's gone to the inside of the Ferrari.
Wow,
He's
that's
moved up to
great
P12.
He did start on the soft tyres. Maybe that explains why he's been cutting through the field so well.
Yeah, Wahid as well has moved up to P15 after starting towards the back. And you can see there, Williams with Wahid and Ponda side by side.
Yeah, Ponda just getting bullied by these soft tyre runners. He seems to be really struggling on the mediums there.
Both got DRS though. Ponda's able to use a little bit of the toe to keep it just in front. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. And Williams does have the inside line, but he's not quite got enough speed. They're still side by side going through turn 2.
Oh no,
this
this
is They're still side by side. And the Williams gets through.
They've kept it clean somehow.
I think Ponda decided to back out there.
Yeah. So it looks like Stars has made another mistake. He's fallen back further from Mikhail. Now the gap's pretty equal from FIBA to Mikhail and Mikhail to Stars. Who else has still been in DRS though? You seem to have got a little bit back. Seb's up very close to the back of Stars now though. That might be something to watch.
Absolutely. We're just seeing why he come back at Ponda. This battle's still not over.
Wow, that's crazy.
I get a feeling that the Williams tyres starting to fade a little bit as it's still got side by side, banging wheels. Start of sector 3. Williams does hold the inside line though for the double apex left-hander. And he's able to hold position. Mika now just about 1.5 seconds behind FIBA. He's pulled out of DRS range of his teammate, but he's still got a little bit more work to do to close in the gap to the McLaren driver. So you see the Renault have combined, it's peeled off into the pits. He's got any wing damage, just wonder if, oh, it'd be very early though if this is a scheduled pit.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's not getting his wing changed.
Interesting.
And he went straight onto another set of mediums. That's odd.
Very odd.
Thank you very much for the follow, Antonio.
I reckon he might have had like lime damage and then
He's forgotten to change the setting to
yeah.
We had a few times that happened during Monaco, which is definitely not the track where you want to be pitting for
No, not at all.
unnecessary reasons.
Oh, and Seb's got the move done on Stars under DRS in the back straight. Very well done. Oh, and Stars is trying to come back at him, but it looks like Seb has just covered him off there. So yep, Seb is now up into P3. Well done from him.
Kaito as well has managed to get past Ponda. Why? In fact,
Wahid's got past.
Yeah, it's bolted. I wonder if there's a little issue there with the Alfa Romeo. It looked like it was a little bit further up.
Very possibly. Wow, it's a big tussle for this last podium place. There's about 4 cars in it. There's Seb, Stars. Oh, and who's that in the pits? Geordie's coming to the pits now. Off the softs. So I think this is probably, he's trying to go for an undercut. He's trying to come out ahead of Seb in P3, I reckon.
So keep an eye on that one. The first of the lead drivers to blink.
He's got the mediums on, so not sure if that'll be the end of the race. Maybe a bit of a stretch, but we'll have to see.
Mikhail's got that gap down a little bit more. It's only 1.2 seconds now.
Yeah, he's really chasing him now.
Expecting the next lap or two he should be within DRS, but that may coincide with the pit window. As Geordie picks up a 3-second penalty. Let's have a look at those. So 6 seconds.
That's on the fresh rubber.
Yeah,
very easy to do that.
Stars, 3 for Kaito, Matsoid, Pepsi, and Big Al. As we see there, Pondon getting back in front of Kaito.
Oh, Kaito must have wing damage. Oh, he's fallen down to Matsoid as well.
I think his tyres are going off. I think he might have pushed him a little bit too hard.
Yeah, that's true. Laps. Actually, he is on the softs, and he was really pushing to get past all those people, and he's pretty low on ERS too.
Meanwhile, a little bit further up, Pace has made the move done on Sid, who's trying to go around the outside of turn 13. Oh, and he's pushed in front of Pacey to take the inside line for 14 and 15, and he's got it done. Pacey there, able to stay in front.
Oh, Matsoid. Oh, I haven't looked at the inside of Kaito, but decides to pull out. Very smart. Oh, Mikhail's 5/10 behind Fever. Fever must have made a mistake.
Absolutely. He was over a second in front at the start of the lap, so he's definitely made
a big mistake. Also, I think Artanis has made a mistake as well, because Panda's got ahead of him and he's fallen back about 3 seconds. Let's see if Mikhail's going to line something up on the straight. I don't think he's just close enough yet, but it's very possible on the back straight he'll do something and Stars gets another penalty.
Yeah, 6/10 is a lot to call back on the straight.
Oh, it's 5 now.
He's had a very good exit. I wonder if Fever's rears have started to just fade off a little bit.
Oh, he might have a look here.
Here we go. He's not quite there.
Sides against it.
A very good look, but just decides better.
I reckon Fever might pull into the pits here. That's probably his only option, because he really needs to get an undercut. I'm not 100% sure about the tyre strats here, but if I was Fever, I would really be thinking about that.
Meanwhile, behind Panda and Stars side by side. Stars tries to switch back, can't quite get it done. But Stars, I think his softs are really starting to fade as well.
Well done from Panda, he's up 4 positions off the start.
And there we go, Fever
now Fever does pull into the pits. Yeah,
Mikhail stays out though.
So Fever is really going to try and get an undercut here. Now Mikhail has to push for his life. You'll see his ERS ticking down because he really needs to absolutely do a flyer here.
Now Geordie, just looking back at him, is in 17th place at the moment. He has caught a little bit of traffic there, so let's see how well the undercut works. His teammate Wahid's just peeled off into the pits as well. So there's a fair DRS train for him now on the pit straight. And I think Geordie has got past Fever. Oh, it's very close. Just behind him. Just behind him at turn 1.
Wow, that undercut is massive.
So I wonder if Fever
Geordie's really going to be smashing it.
Have to keep an eye on Mikhail when he comes to the pits.
Oh, I reckon Fever's kind of screwed himself because this traffic is horrible. Look at this. Oh no, look at this.
He's lost his wing. He's lost his wing, and I was just about to say that as well. We've seen this before.
That was very silly from Fever. He should not have been going for a move there.
Absolutely.
That's not what you need at all. I know so it's a very easy mistake to make because he's pushing his hard. He knows Mikhail is on a flyer of a lap, trying to push to get in. Fever's trying to get the undercut. He has to get past these cars, but unfortunately, that is really not the place to do it. So, yeah, that's definitely, I'd say, an unforced error from Fever. That's very bad for his championship.
Absolutely, and like we were saying before the race, it's the consistency that matters, and unfortunately it's not the first time that Fever's been caught up in traffic trying to do the undercut, and it's just copped a little bit of damage that's going to really hurt him for the rest of the race. Just keep an eye on Geordie, who's currently...
And Mikhail stays out again. He's really, I think and it makes sense. He must have heard that Fever's had some issues, because now he doesn't really have another threat, so it makes sense for him to push these tires as long as he can.
Well, I think the only other threat that he's got is Geordie, who, as we saw
that's
before,
true. That's true, actually.
But he's caught in traffic at the moment,
and he's going to have those old tires. And Mikhail, I reckon, it now actually does make sense, because if Mikhail can stay on these softs for as long as possible, then he'll have a big tire advantage on Geordie, and he'll really be able to track him down.
Ponton and Kaito going side by side into turn 1, and it's 3 wide into turn 2. They sort each other out before they get into the SS section. Kaito holds on to P8, but Ponton having a look on the inside of both of them. Oh, he's had to back it a little bit. Ponton does...
Whoa, look how close these guys are.
Geordie up to P9.
Oh, up the inside goes Geordie.
There he goes. And he takes the position into...
Now, will he have
the hairpin.
DRS? That's a very interesting
I think
question.
he got through just before the detection point, so I don't think he'll have it on the straight.
Oh, he's gonna get mugged
he
here.
Doesn't.
He's gonna get absolutely mugged.
He's using his overtake to try and defend, and Pondon's also having to defend from Kaito behind, so I think Jordy might have got away from it. Side by side, going into turn 12. Oh, they're banging tyres. The Haas does have the inside line, though, squeezes out the Alfa Romeo.
Mikhail coming to the pits now, which makes a lot of sense. It'll be interesting to see how he comes out in relation to this big mob.
And Jordy in particular, who's currently broken free of that traffic.
Oh, this is going to be interesting here. Oh, Mikhail might get... Oh, no, he won't get held. He's not in front of him. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
A good stop from the Racing Point boys.
Williams coming through the final corner now.
Mikhail's got it. I reckon he's going to get out just ahead, but it's very close.
Oh, yep, there he is. The Racing Point
got ahead.
Just in front. But that
good.
was a great undercut by Jordy. But he does have a few lap older tyres, so he will have to pit a little bit earlier.
This is very well controlled from Mikhail. This is really, he just needs to keep it clean from here. There's no penalties, and this is going to be a win. So he just needs to be very calm-headed, because it's very easy to make a mistake, but this is a very good position for him. He's on fresh tires, in the lead, against people with older tires behind him. He just needs to keep it clean. No more penalties.
Oh, there's wing flying there. I think that was the Mercedes. Panda losing a bit of wing there in turn 6.
He was up so many places. Oh, he goes for a dive. His wing looks... Oh no, it's the AlphaTauri lost wing. Matsoid, the AlphaTauri of Matsoid lost wing.
See Pepsi making a move on Matsoid as well. Matsoid struggling a little bit after that damage. It was the Mercedes. Goes for a big dive in the Alfa Romeo. Panda up to P9 now.
Yeah, he's trying to cut through this traffic. It's a bit inconvenient, as a couple of these guys have been struggling for traffic. FIBA still hasn't pitted for some reason, with his literally missing end plate.
Yeah, maybe he's waiting for a safety car.
Yeah, just praying, but yeah, I think it's a bit foolish.
FIBA does get past Matsoid though. Both of them having wing damage. Matsoid peels off into the pits.
Ferrari 1-2, look at that. Beautiful, that's what I like to see. And Panda pulls out the slipstream.
Renault of Seb has a big dive on Pondon into turn 1, gets the move done. Pondon leaving the door wide open. The Renault says thank you very much. Moves up to P5 with those fresh medium tyres. He's in a very good position for this race, Seb.
Yeah, Seb's now got Jordy in his sights. Because Jordy's on those worn tyres, remember. So Seb is now really just going to try and hunt him down. It's got a bit of a gap to pull, but a bit of a gap to close in.
He's on track for P2 in this race if he keeps this up.
Exactly.
He's only about 4 seconds behind Mick out, and he's got the freshest tyres around him, so he's doing very well. Now look at this train of cars formed up behind Flyboy from P8 all the way down to P17 are within DRS of each other.
That's
Check out that train.
That's absolutely crazy.
Stars sends it down the inside of Apollo Pepsi, the double left-hander. Moves up to P9. McLaren's line astern.
Oh, I reckon Panda's going to try and go for a move on Pondon soon, mate. Hopefully on the straight. Yeah, okay, he's going to wait for the straight, which is good. So I reckon Panda will get past Pondon here, just with the DRS. He's right at the back of him, so it should be a pretty easy move.
Yeah, no DRS for Pondon, so he's just sitting dark. Doesn't even try and cover the inside. Panda gets it done pretty comfortably.
Yep.
Pondon as well has been on those mediums since the start of the race, so he knows it's not his race at the moment. He's just going to bide his time.
100%, 100%. Pondon's really, I think, losing out to a lot of these undercuts. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not sure what. Wait, I'll check the pit stops and try and work out where he's in net. See, pretty much everyone stopped. It's just Pondon, Flyboy, Apollo, and the two Ferraris out the front that haven't stopped. So Pondon's actually not... I think he's getting undercut by quite a lot of people right now.
Stars there making the move on Flyboy just before the DRS detection point, so I think a bit of a sneaky move there by Flyboy to let him through, but it didn't work. Stars has got DRS, and Alfa Romeo sitting back to the McLarens behind, but I think they're just a little bit too far back to really take advantage of it. Well, Sid goes down the inside of Wahid and cuts the corner as well. While he does it, picks up a penalty. The Williams holding the inside line.
We just have a second to appreciate this. Fever is sticking right in this train with a whole missing end plate. He's right on the back of Apollo, and he's had a missing end plate for a couple laps. That's pretty impressive. Maybe it's giving him some downforce reduction on the straights. Oh, he's got a very tight
having a go.
Oh, this is so tight.
Yeah, Ponton seems to be going backwards now with those medium tyres.
Oh, the Red Bull switches inside of the Williams. Oh, that's tight. Yep, Williams might be keeping it ahead. Oh, the Red Bull might be side-by-side yeses. No, he pulls out of it. Smart move. So, Sid is right up the back of Wahid, though.
And I'm not sure, but has Kaito pit a second time? He's all the way down to 18th now. He's 16 seconds off the back of the field.
He must have had a spin. I've got him down for one stop, so yeah, he's really not having a great race. He's got a lot of penalties, and he must have had another spin, so yeah, it's not looking too good for him.
Oh, a bit of contact between Sid and Wahid. They're still battling side by side, so go down the straight.
Oh, and now AlphaTauri up the middle of both of them.
Yeah,
Pacey there, getting 2 and 1.
There he goes. There's a little bit of overlap. The Red Bull gets forced up onto the AstroTurf and tries it down the inside of the sister car.
Great move from Pacey there, up and inside 2 cars.
Yeah, Pacey holds on to 13th.
Oh, that little tap there from the Red Bull. Oh, this is close. Okay, no, it's fine.
See the Williams dart off into the pits. That's Wahid coming in. I think he might have picked up some wing damage. He's only done 4 laps on those soft tyres.
Fever gets a move done on his teammate with wing damage.
May have been team orders there. As we
Maybe. I don't know about that. I think he's just slowly bringing it back. I don't know how he's doing. This is very impressive, to be honest. Maybe he's running a bit of a high wing setup, because a high front wing setup.
Yeah, possibly.
That car would be absolutely undrivable.
Yeah, Pepsi's got worn tyres apparently, so they may have just...
Oh, Pepsi! Oh my god, almost lost it. And he's now Jackson and Pacey are both right on his back.
It's going to be 3 wide as the hairpin. No, Pepsi holds the inside line.
Oh, they've all got DRS now. This is Pepsi. It's an absolute sitting duck to all these 3 cars, I reckon.
Meanwhile, Mikau has now gone into the lead of the race, got past the 2 Ferraris with minimal trouble.
Yeah, Pepsi's about to lose 3 positions here.
Yeah, it's been absolutely mugged there.
Oh no, just two, but... Oh, maybe 3?
Oh, the Red Bull just...
Big dive from the Red Bull.
Pepsi gives him a good shove. He didn't like that one at all.
Oh, they're still side by side.
And Sid does have the inside line now.
And Red Bull, so that mistake cost Pepsi 3 positions. That just shows when it's this tight of a train. Oh, and he has another one. His rear tyres are absolutely cooked, and he loses another position to the Mercedes. Oh, this is really bad for Pepsi. McLaren team is not Zach Brown has got his head in his hands right now.
And he peels off into
and he
the
pulls
pits.
into the pits. Wow.
And that's the problem with the field being this tight. You make one little error and you lose a handful of positions.
Exactly right.
Not a lot of margin for error here in Tier 1 at the moment. Going to jump back to Artanis. He's trying to go around the outside of Pacey at Turn 1. He comes off the inside very well, and now he's vulnerable to Sid. He's got a lot of pace at the moment.
Always putting on a soft tyre. That's quite ambitious. Actually, maybe with a safety car, I'll definitely make it.
Yeah, we saw some guys stretch the softs out to about 10 laps.
Yeah.
I think at the end, though, it's very ambitious. There goes Sid down the
Kaito's got a lot of penalties now. Wow.
There he goes. So Sid moves up to P12. The bollard's been absolutely collected by Big Al, who, as you didn't know, is Ali's brother. cut the corner big time. And see the Bollard just run across the track there. And they're still going side by side, Pacey and Flyboy now.
Whoa, it's almost 3 wide into this corner. How have they kept that
still
going
3 wide.
straight?
Look at them go into the next corner. And the Red Bull gets forced out into the outside of the
The
track.
Haas gets the better of it. But,
there's contact. The Alpha man nearly loses it. Oh, that was scary.
Very, very. Pondon in all this is just running away. He's loving this. He still hasn't stopped though, unfortunately. So yeah, not sure about that.
And Trin has peeled off into the pits, so has Flyboy. So it looks like some of the guys that started on the medium starting to come in. Smitty, of course, being the number 2 Ferrari driver, has to stay out on those mediums an extra lap. And he's under a lot of pressure from Geordie as well, who's done really well to stick with the lead pack. Seb as well is biding his time there in P4, but he's under pressure from Panda as well, who's crept within DRS and jumped back to Apollo and Wahi, battling it into turn 1. Apollo puts on those fresh softs, making light work of the Williams.
Geordie's about to go for a move on Smitty now. Smitty is on old tyres, so yeah, it's a very easy move under DRS for Geordie up into P2 now. Oh, actually, oh no, it's quite an easy move under DRS. So yeah. Geordie now, he has got quite old tyres, so it's a very, very tough mountain to climb if he wants to get anywhere near Mikhail. Mikhail's really got a solid lead, and Geordie's got that penalty as well. Now he just wants to, Geordie needs to bolt to try and get away from Seb and Panda.
Oh, the big, Sid's gone around. Sid has gone around. He tried another big lunge on the inside. I think it was T-Mac, and he turned in. The Red Bull got sent around. He's now down in 14th place, who's lost 4 positions out of that. Now Big Al and Trin are going side by side, and Trin nearly losing the rear there. He's on those fresh softs.
Oh, come on, Trin.
Now Panda and Smitty have both come into the... Oh, sorry, Geordie and Smitty have both come into the pits. Surprised Geordie's come in.
And Sid as well. Sid must have got damage. Yeah, Geordie. Oh, Geordie, yeah. I think he just decided his tyre's not going to make it. He did pit. Remember, he pitted very early. He pitted lap 7.
So he's onto the softs. So he's all the way down in P12 now.
I mean, Seb's up in P2. Oh, Trent's having a nightmare here. He's on the new soft tyres, but he's just stuck behind all these medium runners. He really needs to get past all these guys. Another 3 seconds for Geordie, that's not what he needs.
Here's Trent down the inside of T-Mac to the hairpin. Quite got the job done.
No, he got a bit of a scrappy exit and he lost the position again. Not what you need on those fresh softs. You really need to be making the most of them while they're nice and new.
T-Mac's actually faster than him on the straights. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide into the corner. Don't think that's a good idea. T-Mac goes very deep, forces the Haas onto the AstroTurf.
Looking for Trin here.
Still side by side. T-Mac moves 2 places in that lap.
Give his nose on the outside of the Haas.
Trin seems to be really struggling with his rear tyres. Just seems to be just overcooking them a little bit on the exits and kills him all the way down the straights. He does make it past Pondon though into turn 19. Poor Pondon. What? Did he mean to come to the pits there? No, he didn't. He's got all crossed up there.
Wow, if that was in real life, he would have had to pit.
Tries to go down the inside of the Ferrari of Smitty. Smitty shuts the door pretty late, but stays in front.
Now Pondon almost got punted into the pit lane. I'm just realizing something now. Pondon is on 18 lap old mediums.
He hasn't pit yet, so surely
he is not pit. Yeah, maybe he should have just accepted his fate. And just, maybe that's like a God sending him a message that he needs to get in.
Okay, the Ferrari of Trin having a look at T-Mac again. He's got the Williams of Geordie right behind him as well. So Geordie back into the points.
These runners need to get past these medium runners. They're just they're losing so much time in that precious tyre life. Now, okay, now Trin does pull to the inside of T-Mac and Geordie down the inside.
Oh, he gets blocked by the Ferrari though.
Yeah, but he's still trying to get past Team. Oh, it does push T-Mac off the track and does manage. Oh, T-Mac I think must have got a bad exit. And now Geordie trying to go around down the inside of Trin. And he's got.
Big squeeze, a little bit of contact.
And he does actually get the move done. And now he's right at the back of Artanis. Oh, that's very tight. Now let's see. Okay, I think Geordie will get past Artanis quite easily, but we'll see about if Trin can get past him. I don't know if Trin's gonna get past him. It seems like he has a bit of
far back with a yellow flag in the final sector. That's Pondon's coming to the pits.
Yeah, about time.
We've got a yellow flag for that though.
Fastest lap by Big Al, 1:32.5. It's actually faster than the pole qualifying time.
I think Feber's wing damage is starting to hurt him a little bit now. There's a fair train forming up behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I think he's probably just gonna stay. Like he must just be staying out for the rest of the race.
Yeah, unless he's got a safety car that comes out in the next 2 laps.
Yeah. My YouTube must have disconnected.
Yeah.
For him, he's had a bit of a nightmare race.
Yeah, he's about 30 seconds off the pace, so he may have just left, unfortunately.
Yeah.
See, the Alpha Tower of Pacey trying to go down the inside of Geordie.
Feber is loving this. He's just trying to. Oh, no, okay, now Geordie's got past all of them. Feber is an absolute sitting duck. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he just lets him pass. If I was Fever, I would just let Geordie pass and just try and defend from everyone else.
Absolutely. So just quickly run through the penalties. 12 seconds for Stars and Kaito. That's 6 seconds for Geordie.
And the Ferrari!
The Ferrari's there.
Getting touching together.
Trent gets past Smitty.
Geordie gets past Feber.
Oh, he nearly runs right at the back of his teammate.
Oh, the Ferrari's getting very up close and personal here. Now, if my maths is right, Feber is still within 12 seconds of Stars and 6 seconds of Geordie. So if Feber can keep it within 6 seconds of Geordie and 12 seconds of Stars, this is still a P4 for Feber. As long as he doesn't lose position to Trin on the soft, which is very possible. But actually, very, very possible.
And every point counts in this championship, so
100%.
he'll just want to be trying to maximise damage limitation.
Yeah, Feber's got a hell of a job now to defend from these soft runners, these 2 Ferraris. Oh, look at that. Trin absolutely pushing Feber around the track. Yeah, no, this is going to be very rough for Feber. I think he's going to just have to try his best to get to scrap as many points as possible, but yeah, it's going to be very difficult. As, yeah, Trin does get the move done on him, doesn't even need this straight. He has given Feber the DRS, but I think, yeah, don't know if Feber will have too much of a chance to get back at him. But that Trin is up now into net P4 with penalties. Or very close to it, maybe slightly below, maybe P5. Solid job from Trin. He was having some difficulty with that traffic, but it seems like he's managed to keep his wing clean and got through it in a pretty good time. And now he's just being and as Kaito and
Pondon at turn 1.
Wow, what has happened there? That's crazy. How that?
I mean, that's not a place where you normally DNF, so I have...
Not at all. And there's a massive... But they've both done it together. There's only a massive run-off there. And it's like... It's almost like if they've gone off...
Or someone's not braked for the corner and gone straight into the side of the other.
That's very
possible. Gonna have to be looked at by the stewards. Still got a Sector 1 yellow.
100%.
But... Yeah.
Pacey's got past Fever, and Fever's side by side with Smitty. And Smitty gets past Fever as well. This is a nightmare. Oh, he's still ahead of. Oh, and he. Okay, that's a bit of decent. Smitty's trying to go on the outside.
Smitty, what a move.
And now Pondon. Oh, Fever's in sitting duck. Okay, I'm going to try and go on Pondon's stream and have a look at what happened there.
Clip that one because I think that one needs to be looked at by the stewards after the race.
Yeah, I'll just see if I can give you an update.
We'll see the Ferrari of Smitty trying around the outside of turn 1. Apparently, he took Pondon out on purpose, and
that's not ideal.
I think we have our suspicions who Kaito actually is anyway. So, Smitty, anyway, on the back of Pacey through the S section. Not quite able to close the gap in on him. Pacey's been on those medium tyres for 12 laps. And here we go, Pacey, no DRS to defend from Smitty. Oh, Pacey covers the inside very late, but Smitty gets the move done. And now the McLaren of Fever having a good look at Pacey as well. He's also defending from Artanis, who's trying around the outside, gets forced off the track, and he loses the traction, can't quite go down the inside to the next corner. Thank you very much for the follow. Risk, I'm guessing. Artanis moves up to P9. Fever just struggling to hang on to the points. And T-Mac there, almost having a go. Into turn 18 as we see. I think that's combines Renault pitting again. I think gets the AI. We've seen that before at Mexico. There's T-Mac. Goes down the inside into turn 1 of Fever, and yeah, Fever's out of the points. Obviously, he doesn't have any penalties, but
nightmare for Fever.
Tyres really starting to fall off the cliff now, and with that damage, the tyre wear's going to be even worse. So
I've got an update on Pondon and Kaito. So it looks like they had an incident in Sector 3 where Kaito, like, I think tapped the back of Pondon and like half spun, and then Kaito's just followed him into turn 1 and just not broken and just taken Pondon straight out. So yeah, that's really not ideal. Definitely have to look at that.
I think the stewards be looking at that, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see him disqualified from the season.
Oh yeah, that's just unacceptable.
Okay,
all right.
A look further up. Stars has caught up to the back of Panda now. It's just half a second behind Mercedes for the podium. He does have a ton of penalties though. Yes,
penalties. Oh, it's a nightmare. If I was Panda, I'd just let him. I'd just literally pull over. Just let him absolutely go wild.
You got bragging rights by getting track position though, so I don't think Panda's going to be one to just let him go straight through.
That's very true. But yeah, I don't know. I just please don't do anything crazy, Panda. this is a podium. This is yours. It's your podium. Please don't mess it up.
It's been good to see Panda do pretty well the last few races. So he's
yeah, definitely
had a pretty rough start to the season. It's good to see him up in contention again. After a little while, we got Fever finally peels off to the pits. I think now that he's out of the points, he's going to get that wing fixed.
Probably the fastest lap.
Yeah, chuck on the softs, go for the fastest lap, just at least take that away from... does Mikhail still have the fastest lap?
I believe it, from memory, it might have been Geordie.
Geordie's still sitting in P5, so...
let me... Actually, maybe it was Big Al. I'll see if I can see. So Big Al has the fastest lap with a 32.5. Who's in P12, so it doesn't really make a difference if Fever does it, just for ego's sake, I guess.
So at the moment we've got some gaps starting to form out throughout the field. T-Mac and Artanis close behind Pacey. Everyone else pretty spread out. Wahid's quite close to the back of Flyboy, but it looks like everyone's just kind of preserving tyres to the end of the race. Mikhail, 9.5 second lead from Seb.
Yeah, very, very well controlled drive. Just he's done everything he needs to do, Mikhail. He just perfect start. He just like let Fever go. He wasn't worried too much. He just kept his mind on his own race. Fever tried to go for the undercut, and it ended horribly for him. Mikhail just kept his head Just controlled his lead out the front, and this has just been an absolute textbook drive from Mikhail. And yeah, Stars is getting quite close to the back of Panda. Well, it'll be interesting. We'll have a look at the on-track battle, even though Panda's got the penalty lead.
Okay, so Phoebus, I think he's on his outlap at the moment, so he's just about to go for this fastest lap. So we're going to jump on board with him for the lap while there's not much happening in the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for a fastest lap here. Hooks up the first turn very nicely. Beautifully rides the curbs. Little touch of the curb on the right hand side just to get the car turning. Absolutely beautifully done.
Purple in sector 1, nearly a second up on his quickest time.
Is hugging all these curbs to perfection here. Uses the curb very nicely in the entry. No lockup whatsoever. Gets the car turned in absolutely perfectly and overtake down the straight. Yeah, this is going to be a very solid lap. Use the curb again on the entrance. Tiny little lockup, but carries all the speed through the corner. 2 seconds up now. 1.9 seconds up on his previous lap time. Very nicely done. Now open this corner up. You got to squeeze the brakes, get right back into the apex, open it up on the exit. Now this is a nice sweeping right-hander. Touch the curb on the inside, get some turn in. Look at that. Hug the corner, reduce the distance, the maximum amount. Touch the apex, run it out on the curbs, and throw it in for the last corner. This is a great lap, I reckon. Easily fastest lap. 1:30.9. Very, very good lap.
Yeah, great time there. And we lost the deltas there for a second, and I think there was a bit of a battle going on between Pacey, Artanis, T-Mac, Big Al, and Sid, who've all bunched up in the midfield for the last few points. Be sure to stay across this as we come into the last 2 laps of the race. And Stars and Panda. Jumping up to P3.
Side by side.
Bit of contact there between the two.
And Geordie in the back as well. Geordie on the softs.
Oh, it's hard to know what to follow. I think we've got Big Al and T-Mac have just changed.
Stay with them.
Stay with
them. Yeah, the front guys are settled down a bit. Oh, Panda goes wide. He gets a 3-second penalty. Oh god, that's not what he needed. He's gonna be furious about that. But it's 1 lap. He just needs to keep it clean. He's not. No one's close. He should still be a P3. He just needs to stay calm.
Oh, give me some better angles. Come on, Cody's. There we go. Tries to switch back on Geordie, but Williams holds position. So it looks like they've settled down in the top 5. We're going to jump back a little bit to our midfield battle. Big Al. Oh, there's big contacts between Artanis and Big Al.
Oh,
and Artanis has retired. Big Al has got a lot of damage as well. Oh, they got stuck together just after turn 11.
Oh no, I hate to see that.
And the Haas got speared into the wall, broke his suspension,
and Mikhail comes around the last corner to take an absolutely textbook win. Excellent job, Mikhail. Absolutely drove that to perfection. Well done.
Very well done indeed, and well done to Seb as well. He comes across the line in P2 for Renault, and Stars comes across in P3 just in front of Geordie. But with the amount of penalties they've got, expect Panda to finish on the podium.
There it is, great drive from Panda.
comes across in P6. Smitty also in Ferrari. Oh, they've jumped up to P4 for Trin. Smitty P6. Stars drops to P7. Pacey comes across the line in P8 with no penalties. He may jump up a little bit. No holds position. T-Mac P9. Sid P10. And Wahid, who just passes Big Al on the last couple of corners, and Flyway's lost it in the final corner as well.
Oh, no.
And gets out of the way of Feber, thankfully, who comes across the line in P12 after penalties. And I was waiting for Apollo Pepsi, comes across the line, and Matzoid just after him in P16.
There we go, that rounds out the grid.
Well, that was a pretty action-packed race. We had a lot going on, pretty much the entire thing, so thank you to everyone who raced today. Driver of the day, Smitty.
Congratulations, Smitty.
He did pretty well. He started right at the back of the field, so very well done for him.
Great result for Ferrari, I think, today. There's they've got some solid points on the board. I think it's P4 and P6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. Solid points for them. And congratulations to Mikau, though. Absolutely dominant drive. I think once Feber, after that pit stop, caught the damage, he basically just controlled the whole race from there. But well done to Seb as well on the podium. And Panda as well. Had a pretty quiet race, kept out of trouble for the most part, and managed to get onto that third step of the podium.
Look at that from Ferrari. P4 and 6 from 13th and 15th.
Yeah, great effort from those two.
16th, sorry, that's an absolutely great achievement there.
Fastest lap went to Feber, who takes that point away from, I think Big Al was the other driver who had set it before that. That late drama as well, costing him, getting a DNF for Tanis as well, which I'm sure we looked at as was that collision between Kaito and Pondon at turn 1. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for the race. Thank you so much to Matsuya Dabri for commentating with me in Tier 1. I'd love to have you back sometime in the future.
Thank you, Just. Yeah, lots of fun. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. We'll be back in about 13 minutes' time, everyone, for our Tier 2 race, so stick around for that one. I think Seb will be joining me in the commentary box for that one tonight. So we'll take a short break and be back with you then. Thank you so much for joining us. See you soon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aussie Formula Racing. Back here for Tier 2 of Season 6, Round 16 from Austin, Texas, in the United States. Got a dry qualifying session for you at the moment. We're just waiting for the drivers to get their setups loaded. And in the meantime, we'll run you through a few of the highlights from last season in Tier 2. This 5.5 kilometre circuit, 20 turns, 2 DRS zones, and a fair bit of elevation change. Had turns 1 to 5, a great battle between Artanis and Pondon that ended in tears for the Alfa Romeo driver. Had them go side by side through turn 1, then into turn 2, the Renault slightly in front. And as they go into the S's section, the Renault just turning in slightly on the Alfa Romeo, got sent off into the wall and breaking his front wing. We had as well turn 11, Combat Rat lighting up the rears a little bit. McLaren there on the rumble strip and spearing off into the wall. DNF. I don't think he DNF'd, but a fair chunk of damage for the McLaren. Turns 15 to 20. Great battle between Jacob Meister and Saxa side by side through the double apex left-hander as they come around into the three-part right-hander. Jacob hanging around the outside of the AlphaTauri. He was in front temporarily, but then taking a little bit too much curb, giving far too much room for the Renault, who went around the outside. A little bit of contact as well going into the final corner, but backed out of it and let the Renault keep the position. We had as well the final lap of the race. Combat Rat and Mika, turns 19 and 20. Great battle. Combat Rat staying in front. It ran a bit deep at the final turn and Mika came across the line in front. A little error there from the McLaren, cost him dearly. Just jumping into our race session here. I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by Seb. How are you this evening?
Great after that race. Hopefully everything's good with everyone watching and yourself, Gus.
Pretty good, thank you. Great P3 from you, so absolutely amazing to see. Oh, it was P2, wasn't it?
Correct you, P2, mate. Yes,
great
it was
work
a good race.
from you. Good to see you back up on the podium. Just on board with Hero, who's starting a flying lap. I think Mika's on a lap as well behind him, so stay on board for the first little lap. Any news on the weather for the rest of the quali and the race?
Yeah, it's all dry. A little bit of clouds in the race though, so that could be something to watch, but I don't think we'll be getting any rain, unlike in Tier 1.
No worries, thank you for that.
Just on board with Hero here. He rounds down to turn 11. The exits. It's all about building momentum and building rhythm in these qualifying sessions. 18 minutes of pedal to the metal type of stuff. Soft tyres are the way to go to qualify here in Coda, Texas, USA. It's all about building that rhythm. You just want to get a banker in to start off the session. You'll get in 3 laps here. Some tracks you'll get in 4, such as Austria and Monaco, but this is obviously a longer track. Expect times to be around 1 minute 30 and slower for Tier 2. But we could see some very close action here. Hero leads the championship by 12 points over Batemate after his non-point scoring position in Batemate the podium last week. I believe Gus isn't here at the moment. There might be some...
back.
What? You're back? There we go. So I was just saying, Hero leads Batemate by 12 points in the championship after his non-point scoring finish last race in Batemate's podium. So he'll be looking to bounce back. He really needs to if he wants to solidify this Tier 2 championship, Drivers' Championship for himself, Gus.
Absolutely. Absolutely, as we see Batemate himself comes across the line with a 130.4, half a second clear of everyone else at the moment, so he's right on it, straight off the bat.
There's a chance he could get a 129 this session. It just depends how good that first run was. Hopefully it wasn't the best, because as I was saying before, you need to warm up for these laps and just find that rhythm, and then hopefully you nail that last lap to perfection. There's a bit of traffic going on behind that The Sage are watching, that's Nut.
A bit of a lock up from Nut on the hairpin before the back straight. And a little bit, went a bit deep. Straight. Tidy. See a few yellow flags pop up as some of the drivers just backing off to give each other space.
See that big gap between Batemate and Mr. Spicer for P1 at the moment. Batemate's really put himself above this field, but keep in mind Hero's lap was invalidated, his first run at least, so he'll obviously be looking to get a lap time on the board. It's Combat Rat, looks like he's just done a 31.2. That moves up to P6.
Yeah,
Now back on the
Keeper's the only other driver at the moment on a flying lap. He looks like he's got a bit of a lag problem as well at the moment. Teleporting a bit. He invalidated his first run. He's obviously done a extra lap compared to everyone else. Very deep into the final corner. To get right onto the brakes to pull it up. And he comes across the line. P11 with 131.8. So Gert, just behind him, Bandcamp has started his flying lap. Jump aboard with the Renault driver for this one.
We have 12 drivers currently in the 31s. That's 2nd to 13th, Mr. Spicer, Endocat, Lights, Quantum, Combat. Decelerate, Psycho, Mika, Vasa, Keeper, Saxa, Ali are all drivers who are currently in that 131 bracket. Very close at the moment, separated by less than a second. Ali on those medium tyres. He'll be improving later on in the session, you'd think. Spares just got a bit wide there, Gus. A bit too deep.
Absolutely, he's going to take a cheeky toe.
Not sure how much that would have helped.
I think.
Yeah.
Had helped him that much, but might have dirtied his tyres a little bit.
Exactly right. That.
End of the straight. It's pretty tidy so far. Let's see, 102.1 at sector 2. Not setting the track map purple or anything, but it's been a pretty tidy lap so far.
Band's known for that, isn't he? Keeping it tidy, keeping it clean, being a smooth driver. That's his bread and butter.
Very tidy. Through 19 there. This is the apex slightly at 20. It comes across the line, and only 14 to 132.1. Shane Mumford on a flying lap as well in the Alfa Romeo. Like the other Renault. Yeah, for a little bit of a slipstream there. That's Lights. Big lock up on the left front tyre. Doesn't matter that much in this game. He actually goes purple in sector 2 there. A little bit of over rotation there from the rear. He keeps on top of it. Swinging it into the final corner, taking a lot of curb, running out wide as well. Comes across the line, P2 to 130.5, the only other driver to get into the 130s apart from Batemate, so great effort from him. Jump aboard with Hero, who's invalidated his first lap, so he's going for a second run on a new set of tyres, and he goes purple in sector 2 as well.
Yeah, he's got some pace about him. Obviously, he's leading the Tier 2 Championship, Gus, and last race wasn't too great for him. Obviously out of the points, and his closest rival, Batemate, who's looks like he's fit on mediums now.
He has, so I wonder if he can improve on that time with the harder compound. That obviously opens up a different strategy for the race. And here comes Hero to come across the line.
It's a good lap.
Yeah, 130.2. So that's his first valid lap as well, so he may well and truly get into the 129s if he opts to go into the softs, but shows as well the baitmate, if he left some out there on the table, maybe ought to get a few tenths improvement on those mediums. So let's actually jump on board with him. He's a second and a half down on his current time. Does have the ERS off, so unless he's charging up for another lap, no, he comes into the pits. So unless he made a big mistake early on and decided to abort, maybe it's just a bit of a dummy just to see what he could do.
Yeah, I think that would be it. I just don't think you have that type of pace on the mediums on that one lap run to be able to beat a 130.4, especially when that's a decent banker you've set.
So we got Mr. Spicer and Psycho as well, both getting into 1 minute 30s. So a few of the drivers now starting to find their rhythm, as we've got Decelerate's gone purple in sector 2 as well. It's currently down in P11 with 131.3.
It's washed out a bit wide through 16, 17, 18. That might cost him about a tenth or a little bit under a tenth, I should say.
McLaren, they're doing a great job to get out of the way in that final sector. Good awareness. Goes up to P9 with 131.1.
So it looks that might have either been a glitch or the car just hasn't hooked up for him in sector 1 and 2. Really bit of a check, but it looked like it was perfect.
Yellow flags popping up all over the track, just a bit of traffic getting out of the way. As Combat Rat apparently goes purple in sector 1. Not 100% sure that tracking is working properly.
Purple as well in sector 2. He is up 6/10 in his time.
Yeah, they put him in a 130.6 though, so he's good enough for P5, but I don't know if it's going to be 130.2 quick.
Yeah, it's true. Bit of outside curb on the exit of 15. That would have cost him a little bit of time. It's the acceleration of this racing point. Just about nails 19. Doesn't carry enough speed through it, but that's alright. It's steep enough and he could cut enough of that inside curb. Accelerating out of the final corner. It's going to be a 30.6, as we said before. It's like the P5 just ahead of Ali, who forwarded a 31.9 on medium tyres, and he's pumped himself all the way up to P6, the Red Bull driver.
Now, fun fact for you, Seb, are you aware that Ali is in fact Big Al's brother?
Oh no, I've actually never been, that's never been brought to my attention. Not once in the Tier 1 chat has that ever been said, but it's nice to know that.
Absolutely, definitely is. It was a big eye opener for me when I first found out.
Ali is a great personality, great to talk to from time to time. He was a former Tier 2 champion himself, beating out the fellow commentator, the man you commentated next to earlier on, Matt Cadabri. They were teammates in Season 4 of Tier 2, but he'll be looking to find some good points here. Obviously, he had great form back in the day, we should say, but now he's just gone away a little.
Just on board with Batemate now, who's invalidated. At the start of Sector 2, he was purple in Sector 1. Unfortunately, he's just taking a little bit too much curb. It's cost him, so we're going to jump on board with Shane Mumford now, who's currently sitting in P3. Just a couple of tenths to find to not hero off the pole. Bit loose in turn 1, took a bit too much curb.
Yeah, exactly right, he's taking a bit too much on now. Left, right, left. Slow down, brake, get down to 6. He's gone washed out a bit too wide. He hasn't hit the brakes early enough. He'll have to swing this back around and try and gain some time. You'll have to cut a bit of the curbs. Ride this inside one, and then for turn 10, you want to hit that inside. Oh, he's got a bit too wide.
Too wide, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a step with the rear there, Gus. But he's got a bit of... He might need to hurry back to the pits. I actually don't think he'll be able to get out for a second run, so hopefully he's got enough fuel in the car.
I think if you push on your outlap, you only need about 2.5 minutes at this track to get around.
Yeah, you can leave the pits... Yeah, you can leave the pits at around 2 minutes, and you should be able to... Or 2 minutes, I think 5 seconds, and you should be able to get out for that final run, but it cuts it close.
So Mr. Spicer, I think, just starting a lap now. I'm sure I had a Delta pop up, but he's got full ERS, so I don't think that last lap was a flyer. Let's have a look.
Tell you what, he absolutely nailed turn 4 and 5.
It's 3,000ths of a second up on his previous time, so getting close to Shane Mumford, who's crashed into the pit entrance. Has retired, so he won't be sitting another lap.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Mr. Spicer taking a wide apex there at turn 11. Controls the exit pretty well. Let's see what the split time is just after turn 12. Ooh, very wide apex there. There's a mistake. Yeah, he's down 600ths of a second now. Make any of it up in the final sector. There's only 2 minutes to go on the session, so this will be his final lap. He won't have enough charge to go around again, and the tyres certainly won't be too happy if he does. It's nice and tight with the triple right-hander. Out a little bit wide and hasn't validated, and that's it. That's him done. Unfortunately, not able to improve.
Just looked like he was overdriving the car a little bit. You could see the rear end just sticking out at certain points on the exit of corners.
So they're just jumping aboard with Anarchy in the Alpha Tauri. He's coming through sector 3 at the moment. He's very late on his gear shift, and he's used up all of his deployment before turn 19. He's got absolutely no deployment at all in the last couple of corners. Comes across the line, P19 is 132.5. We've got a few guys retiring at the moment. Everyone else is on an out lap, except for Mr. Spicer and Vassar, who are in the pits. So let's have a look. We've got a Racing Point's about to start, and Psycho, so let's jump on board with him. There's a minute left in the session, so it should be the end of everyone's flying laps. In fact, I think Ali might be on a flyer as well.
Yeah, he is.
Ooh, he's running a bit deep in the S's. Down by just under a tenth. Coming up to some traffic. And Alpha Tauri, that's Anarchy. Stays out of the way.
Tell you what, I'm on board with Psycho right now, and his car's looking up very nicely for him.
You got a nice
great
toe.
He'll get a very nice toe. You're right about that. It won't help him that much, but it's close enough that it should affect him just a little. Maybe a quarter of a tenth right there.
So Ali's currently 2 tenths up, so it'll do a 130.4 as Vassar comes across the line with a 131.288.
Yeah, Psycho's going purple in sector 2. And so is Hero.
Okay, here comes Ali around the final corner. Pretty tidy. And does a 130.356. Now Psycho comes across the line, 130.622. Hero a little bit further back. I think his teammate just come across the line with 131.0. And Quantum Effect with 130.491. Hero comes across the line with a 130.034. Nearly gets it into the 129s. We've got Lights comes across with 130.822. We've got Bandcamp as well. Is just about to come across the line. Does not improve. He's 1,000ths of a second off his best time. We've got Sachs up into P10 with 130.959, and the Williams of, and that was Batemate with 130.054, just 200ths of a second off Hero. Keeper coming around the final corner now, matching his previous best time, and he improves by 2 tenths with 131.6, but does not gain any track position. Going to jump on board with Andercat, who's about to come across the line, but he's invalidated, so jump on board with the Ferrari of Conrad, who's just behind him there. Boy, how he didn't invalidate that, I'm not sure. He was across the white line with all 4 tyres. But he comes across in 18th position, so a good effort by Conrad there. Gaining a couple of positions right at the death. But congratulations to Hero, 130.034, and Baymate just behind him there, just 200ths between them. We've got Ali there on 3rd as well, followed by Quantum Effect, Shane Mumford, Mr. Spicer, Psycho, Combat Lights, and Saxa. So all the 10 of those drivers will be starting the race on the soft tyre. We've then got Mika, Andercat, Zellerate, Volcanic, Vasa, Keeper, Bandcamp, Conrod, Nut, and Anarchy will have free choice of tyres for the race. Pretty good effort. We had a second covering the top 12 cars and about 2.5 seconds covering the whole field, so pretty decent for Tier 2. Not quite as tight as we saw in Tier 1, but that was absolutely insane. We saw a few drivers make little mistakes in front of that long DRS train, and you lose about 4 or 5 positions when you do that. The field's that tight, but Tier 2 you might just get away with a little mistake here and there though.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's able to get away with them from time to time. It's kind of designed that way, I guess. You'll expect these drivers to, well, not necessarily push the limits, but push their own limits of what they expect from themselves. And you tend to get some good racing from here, but we'll see what comes ahead. It is very cloudy, Gus.
It is.
We were told light cloud before, but this is a bit more than light cloud, isn't it?
It definitely is. I'm not sure how accurate the forecast is, but yeah, it does look like there might be a little bit of a threat of rain around. So how that comes to play out, we'll just have to wait and see over the next 45 minutes. And of course, straight after Tier 2, we will have the real life Baku Grand Prix. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well. Finally, a race that set a decent time for us. Okay, let's have a look at the tyres. So, of course, everyone in the top 10 on the soft, and it's about 50-50 outside the top 10. In fact, it is. So we've got 5 drivers on the mediums. It's Mika, Andercat, Decelerate, Volcanic, and Nut. And the other 5 on the soft are Vasa, Keeper, Bandcamp, Conrod, and Anarchy. So interesting that the way that it's split like that.
Yeah, well, the go-to strat is a soft to medium. If you can make the mediums and softs last that long, there's a decent challenge for some, but we expect these guys to be able to do it. Mika, Andercat, Decelerate, Volcanic, and Anarchy. Sorry, not Anarchy, Nut. You'd think they'd be going for that medium to soft, but we'll find out as the race progresses.
Absolutely, and it's one of those tracks as well that is very hard on the front tyres. If you haven't got a decent setup, those fronts will cook and they'll become very understeery very early on, so you have to be careful not to lean on them too much or you'll be in for a world of pain.
Yeah, exactly. And in my race, I specifically remember having to manage the tyres. First stint behind Geordie, I was just making sure I kept behind him. I didn't push too hard, and I could have overtaken him at one stage, but you have to look after the tyres here. And although it is cloudy, which means track temps may be a bit down, still these softs tend to fluctuate in heat, especially in that first sector, Gus. Tend to see those tyres really spike up, especially when you get to turn 9 and 10. That's when they're at their peak, so we could see a bit of time management from these guys. We might not.
Absolutely. We're in the second last corner, just about to form up on the grid. And here we go. Just pulling up to their grid spots now. So the last couple of cars to sort themselves out, and there we go. Should be getting the lights any second now. Here we go, lights coming on, engines are revving. And we're away. Pretty decent start for anyone. No blinding starts like last time. Do you see the racing point of, I think that's Combat Rat having a bit of a look down the inside. And they're all pretty well behaved. There's side by side between Batemate and Ali as the Alfa Romeo goes off track. And Red Bull going a very scenic route at the exit of turn 1. They're all pretty well behaved. As it comes to the first corners, Mercedes getting very loose and the Mercedes is gone. I think that's Keeper has gone off the track. He's, out in the weeds. Just got all out of shape trying to, I think he was side by side with someone going through the S section and just lost the rear on the marbles. Got the Renault of Lights having a bit of a look there down the inside of the Williams, Mr. Spicer, and he's moved up to P7. If I remember, Lights did have a very good race last season, but unfortunately crashed out at the top of the hill. So he's looking to make amends this time around. He does have a lot of pace. Just got to get that consistency. A little bit further up, and we see Shane Mumford going down the inside of Ali, but Ali hangs around the outside and holds on to P3. And a McLaren of Quantum Effect having a good look at the Alfa Romeo as well, going down the inside, turn 13, which does become the outside of that double apex left-hander, sorry. And he's having a good look at Red Bull as well. They're side by side. Going through the triple right-hander. They sort themselves out in a single file. Ooh, Lights there taking the IndyCar line way off track there at turn 19. Oh,
watch this, a bit of some wing.
Who was that?
Look at a good look. It might have been
one of the top
Effect.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're 3 wide.
3 wide into turn 1, Gus.
Yeah, it was Shane Mumford has lost his right end plate. Must have hit the back of one of the other cars, maybe Ali. Ali looked like he was struggling on the exit of turn 20, so I wonder if he's just got a bit of wheel spin. Bandcamp comes to the pits. I wonder if he's picked up some wing damage as well on that opening lap. As the leaderboard goes absolutely cactus, so we'll just stay on board with Ali and the leaders for the time being.
Unfortunately, Shane Mumford, but he's going to have to make up for it now. Keep his head cool. Let's look at Lights going down the inside of Quantum Effect into turn 11. Not able to get it done, but he'll fight all the way. DRS, no, DRS is not available yet. It shouldn't be. I think our lap count is a bit off. But here comes Lights and Quantum Effect down to turn 12. Lights having a look around the outside. Quantum Effect defending the inside. Lights sends it down the inside. A little bit of a switcheroo. Quantum Effect able to hold it around the outside. And looks like Lights will have to wait for a little bit longer.
Yeah, nice little switchback attempt from Lights there. Couldn't quite pull it off, but he's very racy. He does have a lot of pace. He's got down the inside of that double left-hander, but not quite able to get the move done.
He's just got to be patient here. He's going to bide his time. I know he's got the pace, as you said before. It's all about keeping on track and make sure those tyres are relatively safe in terms of wear. He's really driving those rear tyres, using a lot of them.
Shane Mumford has pulled off into the pits to get that end plate fixed on his front wing. So that's him out of contention early on.
Meanwhile, Batemate and Hero, the 2 championship leaders, are just pulling away from Ali, who has got a comfortable gap to Quantum Effect at the moment. As you can see, we have those four of the 5 medium runner starters. Currently seeing P10 to 13, so if they can hold on to the back of this DRS train that runs from P4 all the way to P14, they could be on some good points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's surprising to see them have made so much ground so early. It's setting them up nicely for the race. Those softs don't last particularly well. As we see a little bit further up, there's a fair bit of a DRS battle going on. And the Handicap and Vasa having a little bit of a switcheroo on the straights.
Just watching Volcanic YouTube at the moment, just watching his onboards, and it's very jittery on the steering wheel. Looks like he's playing with a pad at the moment. But he's throwing the car around, especially in turns 14 and 15.
Lights has got to be careful there. Turn 19, it's the second time he's gone out very wide there. This is the other thing, like he's got pace, but he needs to be more consistent. It's either getting warnings or getting damage. He's just got to find that stuff out of his racecraft, and he'll be quite a big contender for points. I think he's already on his second warning, so more and you'll start picking up 3-second penalties.
Well up ahead, Quantum and Ali getting very close to each other. Maybe a little bit too much close for comfort for Ali into turn 1. We'll need to try and make a bit of a gap out of turn 9, and he does so. Quantum Effect's dipping, I wouldn't say dipping, but getting the right amount of traction out of the corner. You can see his DRS is absolutely depleted. And Ali's got just about all of his, so we'll see how that battle kind of plays out for the rest of the race. As the Lights is, although he has DRS, he's at that 1 second gap behind Quantum now.
See Lights getting a move on Mr. Spicer to turn 12. And the Red driver gets that 5th place back.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
Lights
his
has
penalty,
picked up a
Gus.
penalty.
You can tell he's just a bit. Yeah, he's just overdriving the car a little.
Oh, he nearly loses the exit, the rear there on the exit of 19. Just gotta be a bit careful because.
And he's got it again.
I think he's, like you say, overdriving the car, and he's out of DRS range of point perfect now. It's gonna leave him vulnerable
Look out
to
for Mr. Spicer.
Not Mr. Spicer, not Mr. Lights.
Yeah, they both Mr. Spicer and Lights don't have much ERS, and Psycho and Saxa are behind. They could be licking their chops very soon. These guys get a fight on. Let's see some interesting action happen here. Still very tight in that midfield though. We're just starting to see a couple of packs form. We have one for P1, one for P3, one for P5. I think he's kind of in his own little land. And we have one for P12 and one for P15, but this DRS train is staying around for a bit. Meanwhile, these tier 2 drivers take their way down this back straight on the run to turn 12. Mr. Spicer looks like he's got the move done on Lights, but will Lights try and go for a switchback? No, but Psycho's there down the inside. Doesn't look like he'll be able to get the move done. He had a look though. Lights, the outside line, try to switch back on Mr. Spicer and kind of got blocked by him. But Lights will go for a move down the inside this time with Mr. Spicer. This is turn 15. Spicer gives him respect and the space, nearly pushing him wide. Lights is pushed to the left-hand side. That might have been a loss of traction. And here they go now to finish off the lap. Sax is right there behind Psycho. He's just a 10th off him. As they swoop through turn 19 and we're on to the final corners. Lights losing the rear end. Really fighting that Renault car. Now Sax has got a good run on Psycho. Sax opens up the DRS. Doesn't look like his first stop, but he is using that ERS. DRS and ERS on Psycho. Will he look around the outside? He's on the curb. He's out braking him. He's swooping around the outside. Psycho stays there. He's going to take that inside line. But Saxa with the supreme traction takes P7. And it looks like we have Shane Mumford who spun around just before the pit entry, Gus.
Yeah, absolutely. Well called. We did also have, while that happened, Quantum got past Ali at the end of the straight going into turn 12. Ali didn't put up much of a fight though, so I think he's just managing the tyres at the moment, just keeping his ERS, just playing the long game, so I expect he's going to come back at him not too much longer. So we've got a bit of a train forming now behind P5, goes all the way down to P10. So it'll be a bit tricky for those at the back unless they get a better exit. It's going to be very difficult for them to get an overtake done as Shane Mumford's gone around in the second sector in the S's.
Let's look at the field. 75% of that field is just about to cross over into the final sector, so it's been pretty tight so far.
And Aki's made a little mistake going into turn 12. He's lost out 2 positions from that. Nut got past him, so did Conrad. And he's dropped down to 17th place.
And Lights has called it into the pits, Gus.
Yeah, pretty early. I'm looking now. I don't think he's got any wing damage, but I just wonder if driving the car has burned his tyres out a little bit quicker than he would have expected. He may also be going for the 2-stop, soft, medium, medium. He does put the mediums on, no wing damage, so just looks like he might be going for that 2-stop. We did see in Tier 1, Geordie tried the strategy, and the undercut was very, very powerful. He was able to gain some track position after the pit exit. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to be the quickest way for the long run. As you see, Nut getting past Conrad, who made a mistake going into turn 1, and we've got Volcanic has gone off the track. So at turn 7, I don't think he's got any wing damage, but he was side by side, I think, with Auxiliary.
Meanwhile, Saxa and Spicer going at it. Once again, looks like Saxa could be close enough for a run down to turn 12. He's in that 3/10.
Yeah, he doesn't have DRS, so he could be a sitting duck here. He's not trying to defend the inside line. Whoa, the Ferrari goes off the track. And yeah, I don't think that's a legal move at all.
Gone for the switchback. Reminiscent of Ricardo and Raikkonen back in France 2019. they're still fighting out, these two, the Ferrari and Williams. Sorry. Yeah, Ferrari and Williams driver. Geez, I had to correct myself there. Yeah, it was a bit weird from Saxon. Spicer gave him the inside line and he didn't take it. Only when someone gives you the inside line, you take it with open arms. As
Yeah,
you dip the corner.
I don't know why he did that, because it would have been quicker to go down the inside line and you can force him out of the corner anyway. So, as we do see Mr. Spicer peels off into the pits. Looks like he's reacting a little bit to Lights' pit stop. And now we do see the pit windows open for the two-stop strategy if you want to go medium to the end.
Oh, we have Andocat on the back of Vasa. That's now for Tori and McLaren. One's on the medium tyres, that would be Andocat, and Vasa is on those soft tyres. He has a penalty to his name.
So Lights has been able to undercut Mr. Spicer, so he's got Anarchy in between them now, so he's getting the game from that early pit stop.
It might end up paying dividends, especially if there's a late safety car and he is going for that two-stop. That will help him very much in the context of this race. Meanwhile, battle on here for the last points scoring positions at the moment, not provisionally, but it's still the last point scoring positions. Vasa does have DRS to decelerate up in P9, but Andocat's close enough. He's got the ERS and he has the DRS. He also has slipstream. Vasa has no ERS. Andocat is looking down the inside. He's going to send one down the inside. Vasa's trying to cover him off. He can't do it. Andocat's just going to swoop by and he'll have P10 Gus.
Yeah, it was like he tried to squeeze him under braking there a little. It was a bit naughty there from the AlphaTauri driver, but needless to say, the McLaren's managed to get through unscathed, so a good play on them for the umpire, just lumping back, and Conrad and Nut going side by side. And it looks like there's a little bit of front wing, I think possibly from Volcanic. It looked like it was a dark red and white front wing. And his Lights is up to P13 now. As we see, Baitmate has come into the pits as the two racing points have also switched positions. So it looks like Psycho's coming to the pits as well.
Well, this is the time to pit. 9 and 10, those are the 2 laps on a safety car free race that you should be pitting if you are aiming for that soft medium, which Baitmate is, and I expect Hero will do the same. I'm expecting Baitmate, as long as he doesn't have too much traffic, which doesn't look like. He's got a 2-second gap to Vasa up ahead. Actually, yeah, he does, but he's going to have to make some ground here. I feel like he will get that jump on Hero, but how will those tyres last till the end?
Just looking at how those pit stops have played out, so Baitmate has come out in front of Lights by about 8 seconds, so he was able to clear a fair bit with that clean air at the front. Yeah, let's wait to see how Ali and Quantum Effect play out when they come into the pits. Mr. Spicer all over the back of Anarchy, but he's getting held up by this AlphaTauri. You see Lights has pulled out a few seconds on him already, so getting caught up in traffic in the slower sections here does really hurt you. While the straights does make it easier to get a pass done, once you get stuck in a train, it's very difficult to get in front of that car just in front of you. You see here Mr. Spicer on the back of Anarchy, pulls it inside, and he can't get it done. That slipstream is just too powerful, and he's going to have to sit behind him for another few corners at least. Going to jump up to his to the teammate Vasa, who's trying to hold off Baitmate there in P9. Baitmate swings to the inside, can't quite get it done. Tried to run the outside of turns 16 to 18. Couldn't quite get it done, but Vasa does come into the pit, so that's released Baitmate now, who moves up into P9. And we see as well Quantum Effect and Ali have both pit. So Baitmate takes those positions. I just wonder if Light's going to be able to get them as well. On their way out of the pit lane, just on board with the Renault now. So it's Quantum Effect is in front, and Ali is now behind Lights in the Renault. So undercut is very, very powerful here. And Hero staying out a bit longer. Just wonder if he may lose a position to him as well.
Yeah, expect he will lose a position to Baitmate as long as Baitmate doesn't come to any issues, but I think Hero is well and truly playing the long game. See that on board with Hero, you can see that graining on his right front tyre. It's not doing him any justices in his high load corners, but he's got to do what he's got to do. He's got a plan and he's going to have to execute it.
Mr. Spicer now trying to get past Conrad going into turn 11, gets it done, but he may have just missed out on DRS as well. See if he's able to switch it on as he hits the DRS line. He does just have DRS, so that'll help hold that position now. He's now 4 seconds behind Ali though, so he's lost out big time getting caught up in that traffic.
Look at Ali and Lights going at it. He's really gained on him. He's past. I shouldn't really say that because he's just come out in the pits behind him, but he's all over the rear of Lights. Lights is still overdriving that car. I really suspect Lights is going for that 2-stop, but I'm not sure how well that's going to work out for him. His Hero has called into the pits. So is Saxa. I expect combat rate has continued though. That's an interesting development right there. But
did combat start outside of the top 10? It might have a little bit more life in those soft tyres, I would expect.
Well, meanwhile, Ali has got the inside line to Lights. It's a pretty straightforward move for the Malaysian driver, but Lights, gee, that was rather ambitious, wasn't it, Gus?
Yeah, he kind of had a good look at him. As Bandcamp has picked up a 3-second penalty, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Lights tried to switch back, but yeah, I think Ali had just shut the door pretty early once he got that move done. I'm just going to jump up to Decelerate. He's got Baitmate all over him. He's about to dive down the inside. And so does Hero on Andercat. Hero up to P5, Baitmate up to P3.
Wow.
And I think Hero's going to have a go at Decelerate as well. He does go up to P4 now. The last driver looking absolutely rapid.
Look at this.
Couple of tenths now behind Baitmate. He's going to have a look at him as well on the inside into the next corner. He thinks about it. Ooh, he wasn't very committed. Lucky the Williams gave him a bit of space. He would have turned him around pretty quickly. Oh, and the Williams has gone a little bit deep, so the Haas driver tries it down the inside, but that means he's on the outside with a double left-hander, which means Williams quite easily just holds position. Traction's not looking great. I wonder if Baymate's just struggling with his tyres at the moment. His Hero looks like he's switched them right on.
Well, it was a great move from Hero to get both Andercat and Decelerate in the space of about 10 seconds. He really needed to do that, and that allowed him to challenge Baitmate. He's going to get a bit of help from Mika, but maybe this help isn't so helpful because it's allowed Baitmate to get DRS.
And Combat
now on the run down to 2.
Into the pits as well, so...
Correct. Well, Baitmate, this is brave from Baitmate around the outside of Mika into turn 1. And she's like, this is going to allow Hero. Wow, Hero, what traction down the inside for the switchback.
Oh, I'm glad I got that sorted before the S's.
Wow. That was some great driving by Hero. That's very opportunistic. Baitmate tried that move around the outside of Mika and he made it stick, but Hero just absolutely minced both of them out of turn 1, Gus.
Yeah, so Hero does have a 3-second penalty against his name at the moment, so Baitmate just has to stick with him, but I think he'd be wanting to get the win on merit though. DRS on the Haas driver and run into turn 12. A little bit too far back to make a move on him this time. We'll jump back to Quantum Effects, who's just made a move on Volcanic, going P6. The Andercat has just made the move on Decelerate as well, going up to P4. So make the Andercat and Decelerate yet to pit for the tyres. And Saxa gets past Mr. Spicer as well. Williams drivers just look to be struggling a little bit more on the medium tyres than the Haas driver did. Hero absolutely rapid, straight out of the pits, didn't have to fire them up much at all.
Baitmate, yeah, it just looks like Baitmate doesn't have that grip. Hero sets the fastest lap, not much you can do when your rival's absolutely setting the track on fire. Or purple, depending which way you look at it. Yeah, it just doesn't look like Baitmate has that grip as you were saying. It's not really fired up for him. Maybe Hero was just conserving those tyres, those soft tyres, so that he could do this, exactly this, go onto fresher mediums and just be able to use them a bit more and stretch them a bit more than maybe Bait could.
Just seeing the gaps between everyone start to blow out a little bit. We've got a couple of cars within a few tenths of each other as Ali moves down on the inside of Volcanic, can't quite get it done. Slices and slip back into the slipstream, pick up DRS on the back straight.
Yeah, he really wanted that DRS, so he just taps that brakes and allows an easy move here. And there's no worries for the future. He has Quantum Effect to chase down at the moment, yes, and they're both on the same life tyres and same compound of tyres as well, so...
Yeah, he's got a couple of seconds. He nearly gets a tap there from the Alfa Romeo. Back a little bit as Vasa gets past Nut as well on the back straight. Yeah, Ali's got a little bit of work to do to get back onto the tail of the leaders. So Quantum Effect is a couple of seconds down the road, and then Quantum is 2.5 seconds behind Accelerate. But then it starts to get a little bit more interesting in that top 5.
We've just got this battle for P3 right now. These guys are all those medium running starters. Mika, Endicott, Accelerate, Volcanic. Just a couple of positions, well now 3 positions behind. He's battling Lights. Out of turn 1 through turn 2, Lights is going to have a look because Volcanic pulls out. Just allow Lights through. He didn't really want to fight too hard through the S section as it's kind of expected. It was a tough place to battle, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he recognised that he was on older medium tyres. He wasn't really fighting Lights in the race at the moment. There are different strategies, so it makes sense. If you're aware of that kind of race position that you're in, you pick your battles, and that's ultimately how you can become a bit more consistent, I guess. You don't always have to be the fastest, but if you know who to fight, you can at least make the most out of your position. As we see Endicat having a good look at Mika there at turn 12. Not quite get far enough alongside. And the Haas driver maintains position, just going to jump back to Combo Rat, who goes very deep, passing Mr. Spicer at turn 12 as well. Williams go down the inside of turn 13, backs out of it though. It's the Racing Point's corner. And he settles for P12.
I'm really impressed with how Combat Rat was able to look after those tyres.
Yeah,
and the fact he's out in front of his teammate who pitted before him.
Exactly, and he's on fresher tyres, and he's in P11, so he's going to have better tyres towards the end of the race compared to everyone in front of him. Could be some good points on offer here for the Racing Point as he does go into the pits, as Volcanic has entered the pits. As we're following Endicat now, he's just a couple of tenths behind Mika, sort of McLaren driver all over the back of him. And he does pick up a penalty, just attacking those curves a little bit too hard through the S section. Very easy to pick up penalties. You see nearly everyone on the grid has got a penalty next to their name.
Very weird seeing Bandwidth on, as you said before, when he got it. I don't know if you see that from Great Man, the Dragon, as I like to call him. Captain Clean.
So we go, Endicat dropped off a little bit from the back of Mika, just 8 tenths between them. He's got to Accelerate now, and his teammate Quantum Effect close behind. But just keep an eye on the leader as well. Hero hasn't really pulled away from Batemate. He's still just 1.5 seconds in front, and he does have that 3-second penalty, so he will lose this race if he can't pull out more of a gap. He's on fresher tyres though, so he might just be trying to save them for the end and then push for the last few laps and just build that gap out when Batemate doesn't have the tread to respond. There we go, Endicat's a lot closer to Mika this time. Got DRS going into turn 1, takes the inside line, the Haas has left the door open. And the Haas later on the brakes tries to hang around the outside of the McLaren. He elbows out a little bit, forces the Haas onto the AstroTurf, and the McLaren gets the position, moves up into P3. And we're hoping to pull out a bit of a gap now. He does have a penalty himself, 3 seconds as well. So you need to pull out that gap just to make sure he finishes on the podium. Now, I don't want to be the FIA here and ask, but is that rain?
It looks like I'm getting it as well.
Like a couple of drops, not heavy, but I thought I
It's
saw
at the
few.
turn 11, yeah, just at the braking zone, right? It looks like it. Take a look at Vasa. Yeah, it looks like it as well on my screen. It's just at turn 11. It might come over the track as
Big dive
time
by
goes
Quantum
on.
Effect on Decelerate there. It moves up into P5. Endicat just holding on for P3 as well. And now Ali has joined this little battle pack. So the two Red Bulls bring out the rear. And Ali tries around the outside. We've got a yellow flag at the hairpin. We've got the Mercedes of Nut. Looks like he's gone around at turn 11.
That was an important move for Ali to get by his teammate. And he's on the back of Quantum Effect, who he is fighting for position. Although Quantum Effect has that penalty, it's wise that Ali just tries to stay with him.
Quantum Effect looked like he had a mega exit, but he just lost the rear a little bit. He's still pulling to the inside of the Haas, very late on the brakes. The McLaren tries down the inside. The Haas gives him a squeeze on the inside, but Quantum Effect gets through, moves up to P4 just behind his teammate, who lets him through. Quantum Effect has been let through by Andercat, but now Andercat is under pressure from the Haas, and he's got past him as well. It was a bad place to let him through. They've both cut the track as well. Now the two Red Bulls are looking to see if they can get anything out of this. But yeah, both the McLaren and the Haas cut in the corner there. Very awkward position to let your teammate through, and it kind of compromised everyone behind. Andercat loses out there, lost the position to Mika, who he was actually fighting on strategy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a bit of an odd spot. It should be done at the hairpin, if possible. So, and the Quantum was fighting Mika, but what is allowed to happen is Ali's kind of been brought into the battle. He wasn't able to get an overtake done, but he is still there and he's still lurking. He needs to make sure he can dispatch of Andercat and Mika and just stay within that DRS range of the Quantum Effect to make sure he doesn't move away. As Andercat's lost it. He's lost on the traction.
Yep, he's lost the rear. The 16 lap on mediums just failing to grab hold of the track for him. He's spinning around at turn 12 and 13. Got no damage, but those rears are going to be pretty quick now. This right the kills off into the pits. He should be able to make softs last to the end here. There's only 10 laps left. Yeah, Andercat really struggled as Mika peels off into the pits now, and Andercat comes into the pits as well. Bandcamp defending pretty hard against Shane Mumford, who's on the fresher medium tyres. Renault's really struggling to keep him behind.
Oh, yeah, he's just gone deep. And that's allowed Mumf.
Alpha Romeo's got past.
Yeah, he just went deep. Oh, he's coming back though, Band.
Doesn't have DRS, so he's not going to be able to hold on. Although the Alfa Romeo's got no ERS left, so no, he's not. A bit too far back to come back at him. You can jump up to his teammate Lights though, who's got a couple of cars behind him now on the straight. He's got a bit of a weave to try and break the toe.
Quick penalty check. Hero, Quantum, Mika, Vasa, Mechanic, Andercat, and Keep all have 3-second penalties. Saxa, Psycho, and Mumford and Band have 6 seconds. Lights and Nut have 12 and 27 seconds worth of penalties respectively. So, Batemate, Ali, Combat, Decelerate, Conrod, and Anarchy are the only drivers without a penalty yet in this race.
Nut is very close to being disqualified. 27 seconds.
He's had to fight with his teammate as well for the final 2 spots on this grid. It's just kind of died down a bit now as all the pits have kind of been done, and I might get a bit of a battle here though, or fight from Lights. He tries to storm his way back into the points.
Come back on with the medium tyres. There's only 9 laps to go. Why wouldn't we chuck on a set of softs?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't really thought that one through. Oh, I believe that might be Keeper off. Yes, it is. Looks like he might have lost the rear end.
Yeah, it's
turn 18.
Not a good place to lose it.
Yeah. Got a lot of runoff, so saves damaging the car, but temperatures tend to go through the roof there. He's going to go into the pit wall, he has.
Oh, he's lost his front wing, so not only has he got cooked tyres, he's got a cooked nose cone as well.
Not been a great race for Victorian, but...
So your Volcanics made a move on Vasa for P11. They're just 1.5 seconds out of the points. Yeah, the top 10's looking very settled at the moment. It's only
Oh,
combat and DRS range of Saxa.
Sax has made a mistake out of the final corner. Combat Rat could come into play in the next DRS, and I don't expect him to go for a move. Oh wait, he is.
He goes for a
He's
lunge
at
on the
least having a
outside.
look.
And
Yeah.
Saxo positioned the car very well there. It wasn't quite on the racing line. It was slightly covering the inside, which made it very difficult for Combat to be able to pick a side to make the move. Yeah, he's definitely made a mistake, and it's cost him a fair bit. He's going to jump on board with Lights, who's made it past Vassar for P12, and Endercat as well, right on the back of Alpha Tauri.
Looks like he'll back out of the move for now. Might have a chance into turn 11 and turn 12, as you mentioned earlier on in this session. But now Sax has got a great exit out of turn 11, so he's just dropped off Combat Rat, but Combat Rat's using all his ERS. Combat Rat's got a great run down to turn 12. Sax is not defending the inside. Combat Rat's going to send it down the inside. It looks like he'll have the move done. Sax is trying to fight back, but he runs in the back of him.
Ferrari there, yeah, just hitting the diffuser of the racing point there. No damage to either car by the looks of it, but yeah, Saxo, I'm not sure if he tried to switch back a little bit, but didn't really work out for him. And now Combat Rat up to P5. He's 5 seconds behind Ali. He's on fresher tyres though. Whether or not he'll be able to close down the Red Bull driver, we'll find out in the next few laps.
Meanwhile, that will happen. Endercat, I believe, past Vasa at turn 11. He's up into
Lights.
P13.
Lights picking up another penalty as well as Mr. Spicer's coming to the pits. That's interesting. He's only done 12 laps on those mediums. They could have gone to the end.
Yeah, they very much could have.
Picked up any damage,
Right.
I wonder. Looks like he is getting a new whip. No. Check out the soft tyres. Surprised by that. He could have made it to the end, unless he's had a little spin and he's cooked them or something.
He was sitting on DRS range of Psycho. I would have thought it'd been wise just to try and maybe manage those tyres while he's behind Psycho, or just wait for a potential safety car, which doesn't look like he'll come out at the moment, but we won't see one. Closest battle on track is Saxo, Combat Rat, and Volcanic Lights. That's 4, P5, and P10. Look at these two.
I swear it's raining on the top of the hill. Every time they
Yeah,
go up, I can see stuff.
It looks like it. It looks like it, doesn't it? Just little droplets, or little streams, I guess. It's hard to tell, but I can see it as well, so...
Yeah, Endercat there closing in on the back of Volcanic, who's in turn, thinking about a late move on the Renault of Lights. Just holding on to that final points position.
Look out for Endercat though, right there. He will pounce on any mistake. He is on those soft tyres and they will definitely go to the end of the race.
Oh, his Lights has made a big mistake there. Off track, it's like he lost the rears and spun out the wrong way, but he's still maintained position, but he's all over the place. I think his tyres are starting to let go after just one lap. Or as he nearly loses the rear on the exit of turn 19. Psycho's also pit. Interesting.
I don't think... Oh, we would have 3-1, Gus.
Oh, this is a bit hairy. Oh, the McLaren tires are a gap that didn't exist. And he manages to get the move done.
Yeah, both Volcanic and Endercat got great runs on Lights. Yeah, just allowed them to both stream through. Lights is slowly dropping off the back of these, so you'd think points chances for him have gone by now.
Yeah, especially with the penalties that he's accumulated.
Well, Saxo and Combat are still going at it. Saxo's not using his ERS at the moment. Looking around the outside, going for around the outside, backing out.
Well defended by Combat, covered the inside line pretty well, and he's run deep as well to cover the inside of the next corner. So he's defending very hard, covering the inside again into 13 and 14. It gives him a good squeeze as well to the outside of the track, nearly forcing him onto the ripple strip. Ferrari tries around the outside. He may have just got a little bit of overlap into 19, and he is alongside going to turn 20. Ferrari driver not giving up. Combat giving him plenty of room, but he's going to be losing out here in this drag race because DRS is only given to the Ferrari driver. And Saxa gets the place back.
They might need to be a little bit careful of Mika. I don't think he will make up the time on his own, but if they keep fighting like this, there's a chance he could catch them.
So Lights has just peeled off into the pit, so I think he's getting rid of those medium tyres. I dare say he's probably had a spin, and he's lost them. Ooh, his Volcanic looks like he's lagging all over the place a little bit. Get a yellow flag at the Mercedes. I think that's nuts. No, that's keeper this time. Oh, a mistake up at turn 7. Just trying to pick a good time to do a spin. No wing damage, so he will have some pretty cooked tyres though.
Yeah, meanwhile, Combat Rat Saxa, Combat Rat within DRS range of Saxa. I reckon it would be wise right now just to save that ERS and maybe make a last lap charge instead of fighting at the moment.
Yeah, he does have
Combat
those
Rat
fresher tyres, so he should have the rubber. He just needs to look after it a little bit and recharge, as you say. 4 laps to go after this one, so plenty of time to get the move done, but you don't want to do it too early because that long back straight could come back to haunt you.
Yeah, and on top of that, Maker's also kind of looming there. He's taken about a second out of these two in the past lap. He's making some decent gains. Saxa should be a bit worried at the moment. He has 6 seconds, whereas Mika has those 3 seconds. Same with Combat. We've got 5 laps remaining, Gus, and we could see a couple of changes here and there.
Just going to jump back to Mr. Spice, who's right on the back of Volcanic now, in P11. And he's going to get the move done before the braking zone. He's actually done the fastest lap of the race that lap, and he moves back into the points, so he will be able to get that bonus point if he finishes in the top 10. But the Alfa Romeo has a bit of a dive to get back at him. Still side by side. The Williams gets a position into turn 2. Volcanic's been on the softs for about 8 laps now, so he's not going to have the grip of Mr. Spicer. We're going to have a bit of a charge. You should be able to catch and a cat, possibly decelerate by the end of the race if those softs hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he definitely should be able to catch Cat. It's just a question of whether he could pull that 3-second gap. He has 6 seconds of penalty compared to Cat's 3.
Interestingly, Combat's really struggled to stay close to Saxa in P6. He almost was out of DRS range there. He just managed to pick it up on the back straight.
To make it worse, Saxa's got 35% ERS, where Combat only has 27. I say only, it's 8% less, but it makes a big difference, especially when you only have about 18 ERS percentage to play with. Once you hit about 10%, you start losing a bit of power down those straights.
Psycho and Volcanic going side by side. He's come back at him. Psycho had got past him at the end of the straight, and Volcanic just be able to position the car in the right places to get back in front through sector 3. Ben Campbell also getting past Conrad on the back straight. Psycho's got the inside line now into turn 20, and he'll pick up VRS as well, so should be able to get P11. That's jumped up to the wrong car. That's a weird bug. And yeah, Psycho has got the position. And on those fresh tyres, he should be able to pull away pretty easy from the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, Combat Rat really struggling to stay with Saxa. Again, just a couple of hundreds inside the DRS detection point. He's having to use a lot of his ERS just to stay within that 1 second, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it for the rest of the race. So I think Saxa may have this. Just having a look at the penalties though, Saxa does have 3 seconds more than Combat, so he just has to stay within 3 seconds.
I think this could sound really dumb in theory, but it might work if Saxa decides to drop behind Combat Rat and then just start applying heap load of pressure and just maybe get Combat Rat to make a mistake and extend the track a couple of times. He might be able to secure P5, but he has to back himself. One, he has to obviously put enough pressure on Combat Rat in the next 3 laps to be able to do that, get Combat Rat a penalty, and then also overtake him in that time span, which is very unlikely. But
well, he's out of DRS range now. Combat is only inside it now because Saxa actually made a mistake in the exit of turn 20. So Combat throwing a bit of a lifeline there just to stay within reach of the Ferrari. We'll jump back to Lights, who's on the back of Vassa. former teammate earlier this season.
Well, they may be former teammates, but doesn't look like there'll be much love lost. DRS and ERS for Lights. Looks like just nothing for Vasa. Lights might go for a lunge down the inside. He is sending it down the inside. Vasa gives him a ton of room. Looks like up ahead, decelerated, spun. That's at turn 9. He looks like he might have dropped it on the inside curb. And Lights looks like he's gonna have to yield to Vasa, at least for now. And it's unfortunate to decelerate because now he's dropped out of the points. He may receive some back due to penalties for Mr. Spicer and Psycho with 6 seconds each, but he could have had so much more.
Keeping an eye on the lead as well. Baitmate still within 3 seconds of Hero as Lights comes back at Vasa going into turn 12. Can't quite get in front. Still side by side. Their Baitmate 2.7 seconds behind Hero, so he will still get the win if he can stay within that margin at the end.
Yeah, both have just about 0 ERS to play with though. They're really stretching their battery reserves right now. Baitmate needs to drive perfectly, so does Hero. This last lap's going to be very interesting to watch, isn't it? That battle with Combat Rat. I don't think Mika's going to be in contention for that P6 slot that Saxon will be fighting for with his 6-second penalty and Mika's 3.
So Lights has finally got past Vasa, but he's just on traction, really struggling to stay in front of the AlphaTauri, but he's gone around the outside of turn 17. And he's got the position now in P18, in turn 18, 19. And 20 comes across the line in P14. Oh, but Vasa's come back at him. He's had a terrible exit. So they'll be chopping and changing positions for a fair bit longer, I'd expect.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sax has got another penalty, so he's on 9 seconds. He will definitely drop behind Mika now. So he didn't really need to push that hard. He had 6th position, but looks like he'll be losing 2 more points and finishing 7th.
Meanwhile, P18 not getting past Anarchy. As Hero crosses the line to start the final lap of the race. Vasa and Lights still going wheel to wheel through turn 11. Oh, as Lights nearly loses the rear. Vasa getting a much better exit and has DRS as well.
Just look how close Baitmate is to that 3-second threshold on Hero. Flirting with danger. He dropped 2/10 last lap. There's a chance he could drop 2/10 here. He's gained 1/10 right there. Oh, it's going to be tight.
He's got the fuel light coming on as well, so he may be pretty marginal to make it to the end.
Same as Hero as well. They both have little ERS, little fuel, and they're both going to use up all of it. Giving everything they've got for a win.
Still just under that 2.9 second mark. Oh, he's using all of the curb to try and narrow off that corner.
Mate.
He's got the gap down at 2.7, so he's doing pretty well. You can see Hero just in front of him now. They'll be egging him on a little bit. Delta's
so
sort of loitering around that 2.8 second mark. Here we go, Baitmate.
Wow.
Coming around the final corner now. Hero crosses the line, taking the checkered flag, but is Baitmate going to come across the line within 3 seconds?
Yes.
He does. He wins by 1.85 tenths. Great drive from Baitmate. Unfortunate for Hero, he was pretty in control of that whole race, but just couldn't pull out the gap he needed. A quantum effect coming across the line in P3. Is Ali going to jump up onto the podium on penalties?
Oh,
he
got too
has
much wheel
just
spin.
missed out. He had a shocking exit of turn 20, and he's 1/10 outside the podium. The jump up ball with Sax, who comes across in P5, but Combat jumps him, pushes him down to P6 on penalties, and Mika up to 6 on penalties as well. The Andercat's a few seconds back. Will come across the line in P9. Mr. Spicer, Spicer P9, Psycho P10, Decelerate, unfortunately, is going to be outside of points. No, he just pipped Psycho on penalties by half a second. And then across the line comes Shane Mumford for Alfa Romeo. Pretty disappointing race for them. 12th and 13th place. And we've got lights in the Renault. Comes across the line. 14th, bit of Vassar. Pips him on penalties as well. Bandcamp just in front of Conrad there. Comes across the line. 16th. It extends very wide at turn 19. And the Ferrari driver will come across the line in 17th place with Nuts a couple of seconds behind him, still holding off from Anarchy. And there we go. T2 race done and dusted. Unfortunately, it kind of faded away a little bit towards the end there. The gas blew out quite a bit. Didn't quite get that promise of rain. Endercat gets driver of the day. Good work from him. The day belongs to Batemate, getting the win. Hero P2.
Batemate's now 5 points off of Hero in that championship.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to go down to the wire. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't know who wins until the end of Abu Dhabi. Oh, sorry, Brazil is our final race of the year, so even better. So yeah, well done to Batemate. Congratulations to Hero as well, and Quantum Effect for the podium. Ali in the 4th place. Combat, Mika, Saxa, Endercat, Mr. Spicer, and Decelerate rounding out the points. We then got Psycho, Shane Mumford, Volcanic, Vassar, Lights, Bandcamp, Conrad, Anarchy, Nut, and Keeper. Lights getting the fastest lap of the day. So no bonus point for him, but he does deny someone in the top 10 from getting it as well. Thank you so much, Seb, for joining me for the commentary in Tier 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll be able to get you back for another race or two later on in the season as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That was rather fun. Race did die down as we said, but that's what tends to happen when you come across DRS train circuits.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we should be having our highlights coming out in the next couple of days on YouTube, so stick around for that. Thank you all very much for joining us. So I'll quickly bring up the calendar, see what is happening for next week. We will be at the French Grand Prix, Circuit Paul Ricard. I'll have to brush up on my French to get the corner names right, so I don't have Nut doing a meme video of me later on with mispronunciations. And we will also have our Classic Car Series back on Friday night as well. And we'll have a special iRacing endurance race on Thursday night at Bathurst in the GT3. So make sure you tune in for that one at 8:30 PM Melbourne time. And if you do have iRacing and a GT3 car, please join us for that as well. It'll be great to have quite a few numbers for an entertaining race. Okay, so thank you very much everyone for joining us. I've been Gus Rules. Thank you to both Seb and Matsia Dabri for joining me in the commentary box. I'll be back next week. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later.